Toronto.
Here comes
Broski. 1, press start. You are now listening to Bromad. Player 1 has entered the game. I'm Swaglord, your personal assistant. Please press start to begin.
Mod your friends to like dubstep. Mod your friends to come to praise. Mod your friends to come to kick on. Mod your friends to buy you food. Mod your friends to buy you clothes. Mod your friends to come to the beach. Add modifications to mod your friends. Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Tell your friends to stop listening to Taylor Swift. Mod your friends to stop them using the sync button. Add modifications to your friends for maximum enjoyment.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, we're going to be continuing our pursuit of Dash. Played Dash IE last night on stream against Silas, and I think due to Silas's learning of Zen and my prior knowledge of Dash and like how close the matchup can be, it was pretty slanted in my favor last night. It appeared to be. But I'm very excited to play Dash some more tonight, kind of learn some more about her and like see what we can change in the current metagame. It just feels like playing T-Bone and Magnetic Shockwave in the current metagame are very strong and powerful. I actually had somebody reach out to me, Aaron reach out to me and was like, hey, like, you know, I've been doing this in Teclavoss and I've had a lot of success with it. So I don't know, like it feels pretty good to hear other people say that they're also having similar thoughts. Also, Dash has done pretty well during the whole like national championship season and across other countries and other events, whether it's been ProQuest Plus or Callings, you know, or national championship events. It seems like it's had some success. So obviously other people are feeling the same thing and thinking the same thing. So I'm excited to see how we can expand our Dash knowledge tonight. One of the things that really struck me as interesting that I heard somebody mention last night is that Dash is like cut like a lot of the like defense reactions, and they're just playing like some items. They're just playing like some pistol items and like scramble pulses and some stuff like that in the sideboard. They're not really on sinks or fates or unmovables or reinforced lines. And I don't know. It's interesting to think about because I've never really played. I played one version of Dash that didn't have any of the defense reactions in the sideboard, and it was, I don't know, it was a very like Guardian-less meta. And I know that right now we are in a part of the meta where like the grindy Guardian, you know, you need defense reactions to help cover up things isn't really a big part of the metagame right now. So I think that might be a part of people's thinking process there and like how we've arrived at that. How we've arrived at that conclusion, but I don't know that I agree with it because I think that Victor is still like a decently prominent part of the metagame. You know, Victor may not have had a ton of representation at bigger tournaments, and he's clearly not converted too well. I think a part of that is due to smaller sample sizes because people are worried about playing Victor at some of these bigger tournaments. You know, the less chances, the less amount of people there are playing heroes, the less chances you have to convert at some of these bigger events. So I don't know. Cutting some of the D reacts and stuff like that just kind of feels wrong to me. I don't know, but maybe over time I can be convinced that everybody's doing that, or maybe by the time I come around to it, we swap back and everybody starts playing D reacts again. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's jump into some games here while we're sitting here. I wish Lay Waste was one resource instead of two resources. Yeah, I think Lay Waste would be a lot better if that were the case for sure, Gunter. Hey, Brim, what's up, dude? Trent, Martin, Mello, what's going on, guys? How are you guys? You guys doing all right tonight? I'm excited to see how Dash feels tonight. Yo, let's go. Ben with that 9 months of big support. Dude, thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate it, brother. It means a whole lot, man. My Tuesday was good. I had some work stuff. It was a pretty busy work day, but it was pretty good. Other than that, how about you, brother? You doing all right, man? Love to see dash because the deck is sweet as long as it isn't shoot you a billion times with pistol dash. I mean, I don't know. Like I think this is. Wait, are you saying like control dash? Is that what you mean, Brim? Rewatching yesterday's VOD, got faith in Dash IE this season. I mean, yeah, like I think that Dash IE is gonna have some. I think Dash IE is gonna have a cool place in the metagame. So we're looking at balance here because they're running. They're going to be running. Obviously, they'll be on the. I'm having a stroke right now. Blood Rush Bellow package. We're gonna run Achilles Accelerator and we're gonna run Adaptive Plating in the arm slot here. This is a bring in the Purifiers and Chambers matchup. I don't want any of the defense reactions. We still want to be playing aggressive and trying to put items into play. But we're going to start with a Chamber, and we're going to try and put more of those items into play so that we can try to set up for a better long game. And then hopefully we don't get got by like an Arg Smash or something like that. So, and then we will equip this in the arm slot. And we don't draw an item, but that's okay. Hopefully we can block here on turn 0. Just love how Dash does it all. I mean, yeah, Dash is really cool. And like the fact that like she can do so many things and pivot is a really cool part of the game plan for sure. Interested in the Assassin matchup? I mean, yeah, I think the Assassin matchup will be very interesting. I think that's very accurate. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. Been supporting the local Lowe's, buying nonsense, just buying nonsense. So this hand is interesting, right? So there's nothing that I really want to arsenal here. We have the option of going T-Bone, so we can pitch the Sprocket Rocket to load pistol, and then we can go T-Bone 0 to 60 and Magnetic Shockwave. And we can try to get 3 pieces of equipment here, which is pretty good. But we're not really utilizing any of our items here. I guess we're just supposed to try and utilize our Magnetic Shockwave here, right? Like that's the plan. That's just the value we're looking for. I really wish this was another T-Bone. Being able to get all of my opponent's equipment, and by all of it, I mean getting the Flesh Bag and the Tunic here would be insane. But we do get a counter off of the Bone Breaker doing it this way, and we get the Tunic or the Flesh Bag. I assume they'll give us the Flesh Bag here. But it would be really cool to be able to get multiple of them. I was like, and there's no world they're going to give us the, there's like no world they're going to give us, the Flesh Bag here. At least I wouldn't think they are. And then they're forced to give us 2 pieces of equipment, which I really like here. Yeah, we're on Rainbow T-Bones. Absolutely. We love missing boots. LOL. What are you missing boost. Oh, boost. I see. I mean, so there are quite a few yellows in the deck, which is nice, but no, we're not on Prismatic Leyline. I think it's too potentially bad to get blown out by a missing off the boost. I think Mellow would be too bad for us there. Yeah, I think Leyline is just a little too awkward at times. So this is just 7 go again. And we're going to have the T-Bone. So, I mean, I like being able to put another item into play. We could also go get a Spark of Genius here. We could go Load Chamber, Shoot Gun, and then throttle T-Bone into Spark for a Teklo Core and try to put some pressure on, because our opponent didn't discard anything, which makes me think they don't have a way to turn on the Claws to really facilitate a massive go again turn. Taking 6 is also quite scary here. I think we'll just go to 27. I like this hand quite a bit. It gives us the ability to really push and play a decent amount of offense here, I think. And we still get to arsenal and set up, and we're still going to have a lot of our equipment, which is going to be really nice. KO gets by fine, missing discards. It's not exactly the same thing. Not exactly the same thing. All right, let's start with the pistol here. Let's just start with some offense and then try to keep on rolling here. So I'm going to move the combat chain up here so that I can see the items a little bit easier tonight. I'm not normally a big fan of putting the combat chain up at the top. I think it looks a little clunky personally, but I think with the items in play, we're gonna need to. All right, our opponent is... So we've gotten most of their equipment suite so far, which has been pretty nice. Like, it's been nice to be able to get so much of their equipment out of the way early. They're down to a scab skin leathers that they can block with here. They don't want to give up the tunic. They want to keep that as long as possible here, but... All right, our opponent blocks 3, takes 3. We're going to spark for 0. We're going to go get a Teklo core, and then we draw a red zipper hit, which is very good for us. And we draw a pretty good hand here. I mean, that is a little awkward for us. So this is for 7. I don't like giving up this much equipment early. I don't know. That's tough. Keep rolling, dash probably. Losing our arsenal wouldn't be the end of the world, but I also just don't want to give up our arsenal here for no reason. So I think we're going to go max V, balance, and heart here to protect our arsenal. And we can have a decent turn here with the Teklo core and our resources here. So we're going to load the pistol. And then we're going to load the chamber. We're going to start by attacking with the pistol for 2 here, trying to push some offense. I mean, equipment block incoming. Yeah, I mean, I just think we had to there. I don't know that there's a world where we can really get away with it. Our opponent is probably looking to try and fatigue us in some way. Based off the way they're playing the game out here, they're just trying to utilize... it feels like they're just really trying to utilize blocking and trying to fatigue us here over the course of a long game here. I could be wrong. That could not be their game plan, and it could just be like a byproduct of what's happening, how the game is playing out. But I like putting the other chamber into play and then arsenaling the purifier. It lets us set up and gives us a pretty good line. So let's block with T-Bone here. We're just going to keep life up. They have yet to find a item disruption piece, which ultimately is very good for us. Arsenaling the twin drive would be good for us because we still have... What have we boosted over max V? No, so we still have 2 max Vs left in the deck, which ultimately is a big W for us. So I'm probably going to try and look to arsenal this, but if not, we can always just throw it at our opponent to start playing offense, because there are multiple item disruption pieces that they have in their deck. Opponent doesn't know you have all the items. I mean, it's very possible that they're not aware that we have all the items, or they're probably just blocking, trying to keep life up to save for a Blood Rush Bellow turn. It's also a very possible play that they're just looking into keeping the value where they can. What have we seen? 1 Command and Conquer? Yeah, so let's shoot for 2 more here. They probably have a Blood Rush Bellow hand, if I had to guess. Something that is powerful and offers a lot of disruption, I would imagine. Barraging Beatdown in some fashion. It's generally what these decks are looking to do. We're going to load one of these. And I'm going to play Plasma Purifier. And we're down 4 points, and I'm going to arsenal the twin drive. Hopefully they're not like looking to arc smash us here. That would be terrible. It would be a terrible way for this turn to end for us. Yeah, I mean, this hand's pretty good. Although realistically, we could just like block 6 here and just throw 9 at them until we find the max V hand. That could like always just be our play. Is just to block and, you know, throw damage. But blocking's not always on the table, unfortunately. What do you got, a pummel over there? It's really what it looks like. So if we block like this, we take 2, and then we can still have a pretty decent turn. This feels like it could be a pummel, and I've known Reinar to play pummel from time to time. Yeah, I won't lie. I was expecting more. Oh, Remembrance. Ah, so they are trying to go for like a fatigue style plan here. All right. I mean, that makes sense. I think it's going to be tough for them to fatigue us unless they like draw a way to like destroy all our items, which is a real possibility. It's a real thing they could do. All right. So we're going to pitch to load Purifier. If they had Flesh back up, I would also be looking to pitch. I would also load the chamber, then pitch the blue to reload the Purifier so that I could get the blue out of my hand so that they couldn't Flesh bag my last card away. But since they can't, we know we're pretty safe here. Eating hot dogs and watching Zach play Dash is going to be a good evening. Michael Paul, what's up, man? How are you, buddy? Trying not to make Dash look too bad this evening. So we load the pistol, we load the chamber. Admittedly, this has turned into a game where we are taking the much more slow and controlling route of trying to block efficiently and throwing the pistol at them as many times as we can. Now, it is definitely not the most, like, you know, high octane fun version to watch, pun intended. But I don't know, like there's a lot of value in this game plan. There's a lot of value in this game plan and like being able to hold up and just kind of play defensively here. We're going to go 0 to 60, then zipper hit here. Now, the old triple red hand's not great. Rolling scabs, huh? Rolls a 6. I wonder if this is going to be like... I was expecting more, to be honest. Let's block 6, take 2. I think we have to take 2 here. Out here sitting in the living room, my wife is screaming at a soccer match on the TV. I do remember you telling me about that she was like an angry soccer watcher, which, I mean, your wife would not be the first person I met that is an angry soccer watcher. Trent said, I'm scared for my life with a smiley face. Oh, it's hilarious. So we have the ability to just throw 6 at our opponent here, which I think is better than nothing. They probably want to be blocking in some fashion. They'll probably block with, I was going to say a couple of cards, but I guess not. Okay, yep. So they're still going to block with 2 cards more than likely, just trying to use the sink below to smooth this out here. If she is Latina, then it is normal. We're crazy for football. So we could have full loaded and passed, but with 2 blues, we only need to be able to keep 2 blues in our hand to be able to really full load and shoot everything multiple times. So I don't think there's like a huge reason to pass there. I think we're pretty content with playing it out this way. So there's only 1 high octane left in the deck. We did boost 1 away. High octane is a very pivotal piece. So if I block with 0 to 60, I get to pitch zipper hit to play twin drive. I get to pitch high octane to load pistol, and then I get to play this for 5, arsenal high octane, and we're keeping a high octane in our deck. I think that is a better play. And then depending on what our hand looks like, we can just try to go ham here. Our family is from Peru, and there is a Peru versus Canada game going on right now. And it's getting heated. I mean, I think people get really passionate about sports, you know? Like I think that's a pretty common thing. People get very passionate about sports. So we probably forced 1 card out of our opponent's hand. And then with a high octane, we can throw the purifier, the pistol at them for 3, like hopefully a very high number of times. They've had their card in Arsenal for a while, which is a little concerning. It's a little concerning. All right. I think this hand is more about blocking 6. What is Arg Smash? Rounded down so they get to destroy a purifier. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Honestly, I think that's perfectly okay. The agility and the might kind of gives them the ability to try and keep their hand. let's think about this for just a second. So these two are one of my cards, one of my blues here. The Pulse Wave Harpoon and the Purifier are one of my cards here. We're on 2 Purifiers, so there's only one left in the deck. I'm sorry, we're on 3 Purifiers, 2 Chambers. So them destroying the Purifier was actually way better for us because we have another Purifier to still make this 4. And then I can go load, shoot, load. So I can shoot the pistol twice with Go Again, play a Pulse Wave Harpoon, and then play Plasma Purifier, which I think is, I mean, it's an 8-point hand and we're setting up a new item. There's also real possibility that I'm just supposed to go shoot for 2 here, reload, and then put the Purifier in play, and then just pass with a fully loaded set of equipment so that I can look to just like have a very explosive high octane turn here. I think we need to be getting cards out of our opponent's hand if we can. The fact that they have an agility and a might means that we want to push damage here. I want them to feel like they want to block. I want to put them on the back foot in any way that I'm capable of it here. So we load here. I think instead of shooting the pistol this time, we're just going to come in for 4 here. Now, they only have to show us 1 card. There was a world where maybe I'm supposed to play High Octane this turn and just try to kind of go ham here by pushing the value that I can get. They do give us the this rounds on me, and then we run out the Purifier, and we pass. And then we draw a pretty dud hand. Hopefully they take the Teclocore. They do take the Teclocore. Nice. You love it. You love it. This is not Dio. You are right. This is not Dio. We're playing OG Dash tonight, man. OG Dash all the way. Confirmed brutes are the bulls in the China shop. Argentina last round will almost be impossible to win. This is their chance. Peru life depends on this. That's probably why she's so upset. Probably why she's so passionate about the game. So honestly, and I know this sounds a little crazy, but what we might look to do is block 9 here. So this is 7, Go Again. Actually, we want to keep the yellow if we can. So we're going to block 7. Pray to God they don't have a pummel here. There's 2 more Blood Rushes in the deck, so I don't know that I want to come away with the Blood Rush here. Or I want to come away with the balance here. But I do think I'm just going to block 3, take 2, and hope that they either can't throw Claw here. Okay. Oh, they had Tunic up, so they're guaranteed to throw Claw no matter what. Which means we're falling to 13. I could have cracked balance before blocks, but I don't think I need it here. I'm still at a point in the game where I'm okay with my positioning here. I can play the Teclocore and pass, which is 4 resources over the course of the next 2 turns, or it's 3 resources now. I would rather have the 2 resources next turn to be able to play the High Octane and set myself up for a more explosive turn with the High Octane in Arsenal. We also have the value of playing the Spark here, which is kind of nuts when you think about it. And there's, what, 1 Teclocore left in the deck? We'll see what they take from our hand. We're probably going to block with... I wanted to block with this, I guess, but I am pretty content to just take 5 here, to be honest, and like play out our hand, because this hand looked very good. Yeah, no, we're at 13. We're good. Thanks for the insight. Trent's in here trying to impress his wife with the soccer knowledge. I love it. You play OG on paper, then Talishar. At least it's still better than Victor. I was like, listen, Josh, I'll just start playing Victor if you want, man. Like that's where we're at, brother. All right, so we draw into a good card. We have boost. They get to show us their hand, and then we'll have 2 resources floating plus this, which means it's going to be Purifier and potentially Heart if we want to throw max value here. So this is going to be 2 and 5 is 7 and 4 is 11. And then the 3 boost will put us up to 4 action points, and we'll have enough resources to throw the pistol a pretty decent number of times here. Really, really applying a lot of pressure to our opponent. They take 1 and give us the scabs. They block with a pack hunt. We're going to get to see the last 3 cards in their hand here. Just kidding. We're going to see the last 2 cards in their hand. They play Hold the Line. And from here, we have 4 go again. Show us your last 2 cards. They have a Beast Within and a Hold the Line. So we take the Beast Within. They keep the Hold the Line. Love the phrasing here. They get to show us their hand. I mean, listen, you got to look at it in the right light, right? Is playing at the path to get good? I don't know about that. I mean, you guys have watched me play. I would definitely not call myself good, but I think Dash teaches you a lot of the like quote unquote basics of the game in a lot of ways. So I think there's a lot to be said for that, honestly. The question is it worth harding here to push more damage? I don't know that it is. So we're going to shoot this. We're going to have 2 action points after this, and we're going to have 2 resources. Now, after we shoot this, I can activate Heart and go up to 2 resources. I can shoot the gun, give it go again, load, and shoot again. Or I can just shoot the gun here and then keep the cards in my deck and roll into the next turn, knowing that I can give the plating for the Tekla Core, or if my hand's good, I can just play a lot of offense here. We should probably not Heart. We are like moderately low on cards, although it is probably best to push as much damage as we can, as often as we can, knowing that they're probably not going to have a turn next turn. So this hand's really sweet. This lets us attack for 6, and then set up a Purifier, which is a really good play. It's a really good line of play for us here. Is this the same deck as last night, or will you be posting the list to the Discord? So yeah, this is the same list as last night. I think I posted it in the Discord in the deck list section. I posted both my dash list from last night and Silas's Zen list from last night. Both of them should be in the Discord. So you should be able to find those if you're looking for those. Yep. He's not on Guardian. He can't play anything competitive. He does have some knowledge, at least, of all heroes. I mean, I try to expand my knowledge as much as I can by playing new heroes, but Josh gives me a lot of crap, but I give Josh credit where credit is due. Guardian is by far the place that I have the most knowledge of the game, and I would say that I feel like I can speak with the most amount of confidence as far as everything's concerned. Thought about wanting to try them, but the banishing my own deck puts me off playing them. I'm currently putting together a Teklo deck because he can benefit. Oh, sure, because he can play the banished Evos from his banish zone. I mean, there is a lot of I have to admit there has been some frustration at times for me because there's been some frustration because I have banished cards that I needed in play. And it's been tough. Like that's been a real thing. So the real question here is, do I go again into shoot pistol, arsenal this, or if they take all of that, break accelerator and then shoot the gun one more time? Because it feels like they're trying to keep their hand here. The only problem with this play is that regardless of what happens, they can go down to 1 and give me the tunic if they want. But I don't know what their hand looks like. So I think we're going to play a little bit more offense here. I want to put them on the back foot if I can, forcing their hand to be a little awkward. So let's see how they play this out here. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Okay, you found both lists. Good. I'm glad they're there. If you didn't like it, I wouldn't give you crap. I mean, I have no room to talk. I can't play anything outside of Illusionist competitively. I mean, I think that happens to a lot of us. We find our class that we like to play and something that we thoroughly enjoy. And we stick with it when it comes to like a competitive setting. And that just happens to be Guardian for me. So, and yeah, I mean, I was like, Josh, if you were ever in the stream and you weren't like harassing me, I would think that I'd made you upset or that something was wrong. Okay, my opponent gives me Sink Below. Okay. I mean, like that's okay with me. We took what I would believe is most of the value of what their turn scares me they could do with it. So, and then this turn is like a pretty, oh, see, that's what I didn't want to happen. They were going to pitch the Blood Rush Bellow to do that. I needed them to take the Teclo Pounder. If they take everything but the Teclo Pounder, we're in a pretty bad spot. Hopefully it's like claw into something we can block. We need to stay at 3 or better. That's the main concern here. So you're saying your streams are harassment free for all? I mean, I don't know that I'd want to put it that way. A free for all seems a little aggressive, but I mean, I'm definitely down for people having a good time and like giving me a hard time. That is for sure. So yeah, you guys want to harass me? I say bring on the good times. I'm here for it. I am here for it. I'm glad that they drew a terrible hand, and I know that sounds real hateful, but I'm very thankful that they drew a terrible hand. So 5 into 3, 6, 9 should be game. They just said good game, so I mean I'm gonna run it out here and play it out, but we're gonna Arsenal the throttle. The fact that they drew into all reds right there, like probably did that. No way. I catch a stray all the time. You catch a stray? A stray what? What are you talking about? I'm so confused. So we load this, activate this, attack for 3. We give go again, activate heart. Yeah. Give this go again. Activate heart. Maybe we don't kill them this turn. I guess we don't technically kill them unless they have a no block, which I think is less likely in Rhinar than it is in KO. So we do this, and then we have the 6 next turn, which almost guarantees that we can kill them. Oh, do they have the no block, or is it a sync? It's a that all you got? That all you got? A straight insult sack? Keep up? Dude, man, bro, you know how I am. Like, you know how I am, fam. It's, I am slow rolling over here, brother. I appreciate that they're playing it out, but at the same time, this game is very over. I'm at 8, so which Guardian do you play? So Geek, I started out playing a lot of the first Guardian I ever really played was Oldhim. I played a lot of Oldhim. I didn't really understand the game very much. It was very new when Starvo was a thing, and I learned Oldhim during the Lexi meta when nobody really wanted to play Oldhim. And that was when I really like learned the hero and the insides and outs of it. And then we'll boost here, and I've rolled into Victor since then. So I play a lot of Victor. I've played a lot of Victor over the last, like, I don't know, since February, last 4 months, I guess, when Heavy Hitters came out. I was a big fan of it then, and it was kind of like, you know, the KO and Victor were like very much so like the quote unquote like boogeyman men of the format, I guess. And I played a lot of Victor since then, so I bounce around when I stream quite a bit just because I like to play other things. But I played a lot of Victor in the most recent months, so to say. Are you a big Guardian player? And to think all this time I've been harassing myself and Dawn played Olympia. Oh man, that Dawn played Olympia deck was cool. I'm definitely not a warrior player, so I made that look real bad, but it was fun. Someone called me out on Fleshbag's stream. I called him bad on anything not Rhinar, and the viewers got so defensive, and he said he's oh, that he said that he's used to it. Playing the stupid horse. Oh, is he at the end of his like letter thing, his letter game that he's playing or whatever he's doing? That sounds really mean. I don't mean it to sound like it's some game or anything, but you know, like, is he at the end of his like alphabet thing or whatever? But yeah, no, I get it. I could see people like definitely like if people don't know you or didn't understand your relationship with him, I could 100% see them being like upset or feeling like you're out to get him or something like that. I mean, some of the stuff you say sometimes, like it's aggressive, man, but it's just who you are. Just have to learn to get to know you, man. Michael Fung wanted to play Oldhim during the Lexi meta, so by all rights, you were technically a pro way back then. I learned Oldhim too, but I miss him. I mean, yeah, like there's nothing like playing Oldhim, man. Like I tell you, like, and most people hate this kind of thing, but I tell everyone that there was a point in the game when you were playing Oldhim that you could physically like watch the life fall out of your opponent's eyes. Like you could tell when you were playing Oldhim that they knew they didn't have enough gas left, that they knew they didn't have enough resource, like there wasn't enough power cards, there wasn't enough this in their deck, like, you know, blah, 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 blah. And like, that is a high I've been chasing ever since. Trying to find that is a high I've been chasing ever since, brother. I was like, we'll see if Kano can get me. I actually played against the Kano earlier playing Dash, and I was able to squeak it out. It was really close. He came up a little short on his combo, put me down to 6, and just with AB3, I think it was too much at the end. How did we go? Top, top, top? Block with an Ether Spindle and a Gaze. Joke's on you. Give me that last card, buddy. Let's go. You'll love to see it. I am aggressive, but you can't deny I do make you catch your mistakes. That's true. I mean, like, that's a very accurate statement. You do help me catch my mistakes. And I mean, for everybody who does that, I'm actually very appreciative of that. I feel like I learn more about heroes and just like the game in general when people help me catch mistakes like that. Cindering here is a Chad move. I'm going to take it that means you wouldn't have done it. That you wouldn't have done it. I assume he was debating pitching this to like Crucible or something here. I can only assume what my opponent meant. So we get to put our opponent to 24 and take their hand so that they have no tempo play. I mean, this hand's like pretty good, right? But it also doesn't harpoon very well. The fact that Throttle costs 2 makes this a little bit of an awkward harpooning hand. So let's lead on our lowest resource, highest damage card that we have. And then from here, I'll probably just play the Throttle and then pass. And we'll just kind of go from there. We could activate Heart and then go Throttle into Harpoon if we really wanted to get crazy. Because that would mean that we have a 17-point turn. I mean, the fact that my opponent's blocking means that we, you know, have some value here. I would not have. I mean, so I'm going to assume that if you would not have done something, it's probably incorrect, Nick. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Into this matchup. I mean, Kindle is very good. I actually very much so agree with that statement that Kindle is like a very solid, very strong card. I'm going to boost to give them the illusion that there's something else we're going to do here. All right, we're just going to pass. We're going to Arsenal the Harpoon. I don't think it's correct to Kano on my turn. It virtually never is. You want a Kano on your turn because you want to take cards out of my hand so that you have the ability to take the tempo when you want to kill me on my turn, which is just better. So, I mean, this hand's pretty solid. Let's go boost here. We'll come in for 7 off the back of our boost, which is pretty solid. Like that. Trent's going to be doing a lurk. I like it. I like it. I mean, yeah, Kindle just helps the aggro matchups quite a bit. I think he has a Kindle in his hand. I think that's what he hit off the top. It was that or I, and he didn't pitch I, so it tells me that he has a Kindle here, I think. How do you feel about New? I feel like her disruption can definitely drain an opponent's soul. So 100% New is the disruption deck of the format right now, which, you know, I mean, like, New is the disruption deck of the format. Cards like Surgical Extraction and what? I'm so confused right now. I am so confused right now. Mask of Recurring Nightmares is insane. Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, that was definitely, like, not a real game. I don't know what my opponent just did there. That was interesting. So they played Gaze without having another wizard card and then bottom 2 cards in a row. Maybe they like, I guess, so they put, the Rags put Gaze on top. I don't really know what just happened there. That was interesting. Maybe my opponent was new to Kano, or maybe they accidentally like did some sequencing wrong there. I'm not sure, but I mean, either way, that was, makes us 2-0 on the night. You love to see it. But yeah, New has a lot of good disruption. Surgical Extraction, Leave No Witnesses, Bonds of Agony are all very obnoxious cards. I have to admit that like New is one of those heroes that can like situationally put me on tilt. And I think sometimes you just have to like, New has like what a lot of people would refer to as like Rune Blade hands. Sometimes, because she like Mansant calls them new hands, like she just has like new hands is what he called it. And it's kind of like a Rune Blade hand in my opinion, where like the hand is very weak, it's all reactions, all attacks, it doesn't have this or it doesn't have that piece, and and it can't do certain things. And so sometimes like I think if you're playing a deck that can weather the storm long enough, and then try to get in and like have a lot of like consistent value, then you're able to try and win that game. Like, so I don't know. Siren's Call is messed up. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think my opponent was learning KO. Like, I 100% agree. Hey, it's Joe. Joe, if you're here, man, good luck, brother. Good luck to you, man. Yeah, somebody was learning Kano there. All we need is now is a Guardian, not Victor, to be meta viable and as well, and we'd be happy. I mean, I would. I think it would be fun to see another Guardian in the format. Hopefully, we get an Earth Guardian in this next set. I think this is a matchup where we want Purifiers and Chambers to help kind of like fight the fatigue ness of this matchup here. So there's 23 blues in the deck. We'll probably cut Combustible Courier. And then we can just run. We'll throw in the Chambers and the Purifiers, start with the Chamber and play from there. Accelerator's good. Crown of Providence is good. Heart, and then we'll run Adaptive Plating in the arm slot here. And we'll start with a Chamber and we'll load it into the arms. We draw a pretty decent hand here, being able to set up and load some things and then put a Purifier into play, giving us some pretty good early game potential. I'll be happy when the horse is put down. I don't think that's going to happen. Hey, Rob, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? You doing all right, man? I think the more reps people get into Nude, the less whack she'll seem. She can present damage in a variety of increments, so it can be difficult to figure out how to commit and block win. So I actually 100% agree, Dai, that I think there is a lot of like the more you play against New and to learn you more about it, the more you play against it and the more you learn about it, it is like quote unquote easier to play against. I actually very, very strongly agree with that analysis of the hero as a whole. 100%. So let's go. This is a time when it would be awesome to be able to like play multiple items in a turn. So I would love to be able to put the Pounder and the Purifier into play. I would pitch the Throttle and the Harpoon if I could put both of my things into play here. It would be really good for me. The problem is if they have this, we're just like that's the problem here. So we're just discarding a Purifier and hoping that we draw something good. Now, we drew another Purifier, which I gotta admit, it's a heckin' lucky. It's a heckin' lucky off the top of the deck like that. You love to see that. But Joe did get a Purifier there, which is pretty tough. Now that's gone very early, which I like to see, but at the same time, that is a tough one to lose that early on in the game. Yeah, man, I'm doing well. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out tonight. Aggro cheating again. I mean, that was a very lucky draw. I don't run from that. That was a pretty lucky draw. Care about the fact that it could have even been played when it did, but I'm so happy they banned Crown of Seeds. I mean, like I think getting rid of Crown of Seeds was ultimately a net positive for the game. I think we're going to take 5. I know that they have the potential to reload and throw another arrow at us, but I I want to put another chamber into play and and arsenal the high octane. Maybe because of that, we're supposed to get the last purifier here. With the high octane, we can have like a pretty solid hand. Let's actually do that. So let's get the purifier because it represents the most damage that we can get out of the deck. And then we will arsenal the high octane, setting up for hopefully a very explosive hand. Now, we don't have any resources, but this hand does push a lot of damage. This hand is honestly probably just block 6 to 9 and then load the purifiers and pass here, if I had to guess. If we could get away with blocking with throttle and T-bone and then load both of those and keep the twin drive in hand, that would be ideal for us. But looking at this, it looks like we're just blocking 9. We're going to keep the zipper hit in our deck. And then we're going to load up the purifiers and pass. Now, if we draw into a good hand that does a lot of things, and they draw into a Riptide hand that has a lot of traps, this hand's insane. This hand is bananas. Do we know what Terra does yet? We know what the young version of Terra does yet. But I don't know. I don't know if, like... I don't know how broken Terra is going to be. The creating might seems very fair and very balanced, to be honest. There is a line where you just load counters and play an item to play around a trap. There is very much so a line where we load the items and just play around the traps there. That is wholeheartedly a very, very positive option that we have there. Definitely something we could have taken, and it probably would have been a smarter play. Looking all the way around there to note that we would have been able to keep and put more items into play and set ourselves up just a little bit better. So let's go high octane. We're going to go boost here. We get Teklo Core and a T-bone. So this is 5 go again, 2 action points. If you have an Earth card in your pitch zone, play 1 and create a Might. Oh, I guess that's true. It's actually like insanely cracked with Rampart and Crown of Seeds. So yeah, it would actually just be insane. You guys make a good point. That would be bananas there. Recognizing is early in the set's meta. Where do you feel Victor falls in regards to the other top decks for this Nats season? I mean, you know, he hasn't converted well at some of the bigger events, which I think is a little concerning in a lot of ways for us. But ultimately, I think Victor's going to end up being in a strong place. So let's go T-bone. So Victor has some tough matchups, right? Like Victor has some like uphill matchups, like in New and in Enigma. They're not impossible, but they're uphill battles for most of the game, and you have draws that can enable you to win. But Victor also has a fair share of pretty good matchups. Like when you look at Azalea, that's a favored matchup. Zen is a very close matchup, but it's I think it's 50-50. I don't think it's really favored in anybody's direction, if I'm being honest. And you know, I don't know. Like there's just, I think that Victor has a lot of play in the metagame, a lot more than people think, if I'm being honest. Like, I think there's a lot more play there than everybody thinks. Don't worry about the meta and play what you like. I think there's a lot of merit to that, but playing what you like isn't always the best if you're a competitive grinder like myself. So let's think about this for just a second. We could spark for 0 to get a Teklo Core and draw a card, go down to 3 action points, and then we would be able to shoot the gun with the resources if we activate Heart and want to arsenal the next card. I mean, I kind of want to get a Teklo Core here. I think it's very beneficial for us to get a Teklo Core and then find another card. If it's a blue, we don't really want to arsenal. We probably arsenal it anyway. We could also just shoot the gun a bunch of times and then give go again and spark for 0 at the end. And I think that's a safer play, right? It guarantees that we're getting all of the value in the action that we can here for our dollars. I guess, like dollars, if you will. Terra might make the heavy hitters attacks like command respect pretty good. I could see that. Yeah. No, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Victor's very legit. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I'm competitive and still play what I like. In the end game, you got to have fun. I mean, sure, at the end of the day, you do have to have fun, and that's like, it is a card game. It's a hobby. You know, we're all here to have fun at the end of the day, and sometimes that does get very lost in what we're looking to. You know, a lot of times if you're a grinder, it gets lost that it's a card game, and at the end of the day, it's a hobby, and you should be enjoying yourself. But I also understand you're living in a world where, like, you want to win, you want to always be winning and doing well, so you're just going to play the best deck, if that makes sense. Get a Teklo Core, a Blue Throttle. I mean, we could Arsenal it and try to set up a pretty good hand. We have to take 4, which I think ultimately is okay. But we can use Crown to try and find a better hand here. The Teklo Core also helps with our hand because I kind of want a Crown here pretty much no matter what. They do... Oh, Razor Reflex is a spicy one. So if we draw into a blue, which hopefully we do, my Steam Propelled Hammer could increase mining efficiency by up to 38%. Okay? So going down to 7 is a little frightening here. Let's Crown, see what we find, and then we can try to have a big turn here. I think we want to block this so that we're not going to blow up in a piece of equipment. We're just going to use plating as 1, which kind of feels like a trap, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. So we're going to go Zipper Hit for 5, go again. Just like winning, problem solved. I mean, I do have more fun when I am winning. That is a very real thing. I really hope that Terra isn't a young only hero. I really agree. Which My Little Pony is Victor? I don't know My Little Pony well enough, but I am open to hearing suggestions there. I understand, but I refuse to do that. Like, been playing Azalea since she was bad. Now she is decent. I mean, yeah, like, there's a lot of people who feel that way about the game. It's ultimately, like, where your priorities lie within the game and how you feel about, you know, giving up having fun to play the quote-unquote best thing. But, I mean, you don't see people holding trophies and checks for money and being sad. Is this a mech channel now? We need a Max stream if so. I mean, you could twist my arm into having a Max stream. Max is cool. I like Max. Max is fun. You could talk me into doing something like that. He's just called Terra with no title, so we'll surely be getting an adult version. I really hope so. Looking forward to watching you play Victor. Interested in learning him. He's really fun, Geek. I mean, there's a certain set of variants. What was that? Harpoon. So Inertia Trap and Razor Reflex. I mean, there's a certain set of, like, you know, like, variants, I would say, to playing Victor because of the clashes and how that whole mechanic works. But I think at the end of the day, he's higher upside than downside. At least in my opinion. This hand's insane. This hand is so good. God, we love to see hands like this. So we have 5 resources. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you'll love to see it. Love it when a plan comes together, boys. Unless you're playing in a pro level, I think the best way to do is play a deck that's a mix of both fun and powerful. That makes a lot of sense. And hey, Henrique, what's up, buddy? You should only sell your soul to the meta if you're a hardcore tournament grinder that'll be traveling a lot. Other than that, you should just be playing what you enjoy. Everything wins in an armory. So at an armory, I agree with you. As someone who goes to every RTN, every ProQuest, every calling, every battle hardened I can try to get my hands on, I am a believer in, I try to play what I think is the best deck in that format at that time, personally. So that's kind of like where I fall on that. I am someone who goes to a lot of the biggest tournaments, and I try to play at every single event that I can, to, you know, just like try, and the goal is to win. Like, that is very clearly the goal every time I go to a big tournament, is I want to win. So yeah. I really hope they consider introducing new heroes in the Armory product line as well. And it's really fun that you brought that up, Martin, because that is something that I was just talking to someone about the other day. So they have an inertia trap, so arsenaling this is not on the menu. We know they have an inertia trap, so they had an inertia trap and an unknown card last turn. So we throw 4 at them. An action card. So we couldn't take Razor Reflex because Harpoon is an action card, which is good to know. I do think we can triple pistol here. So we have gun, go again, gun, and we activate heart before the second gun, accelerator gun, which I think ends the game. I'm curious to see how they block here. I don't know that it ends the game, but we should probably just throw it because it's an extra 4 points here. There are 0 misses in the deck, so there's no reason to really... where's the no problem? Joe said he's thinking here. So, I mean, there's a lot of... Okay. Like, throwing the pistol 3 times is probably just always the best thing we can be doing. The fun part is, like, this card, like, just blocks for 2, right? And attack. Yeah, this thing just blocks for 2 against me because we're just always going to break the combat chain. Unless my opponent somehow, like, finds a turn where they can, like, get me with a harpoon when I had a Teklo Pounder in play, that would be the best line. That would be the best course of action for them. Now, we do go down to 8. It's like there's no world they're going to 1. Absolutely 0 shot they're going to 1. It's not exactly lethal, I don't think, because they're at 4 and they have too much equipment for us to, like, really consider going to 4. Or I'm sorry, for us to kill them. But I do think that we have the resources and the ability to do it this turn. There is no guarantee for the rest of the game based off of the way our hands shape up and play out that we have the ability to do it. So we should take this opportunity now while we can. Our opponent takes 2 and goes to 2, which is nice because it means that they are guaranteed to have to give us a card from hand no matter what if they just block with Stonewall Gauntlet here. Gun goes down to 3. They take 2, go to 2. We crack Accelerator to gain an action point. And then we use Pistol to come in for 4. Now, for the rest of the game, we just have breakpoint attacks with the Pistol, which is coming in for 4 because of the Purifiers. So we're in a pretty good spot here, I think. I actually think they should cool off heroes for a few sets. Just have existing heroes in the sets for draft with a lot of legacy support. That would also be fun. Like, I'm definitely not saying that they should be doing only this or only that, but the concept of new heroes is fun. There is some concern, I think, for LSS at a certain point because they have to keep introducing heroes to keep the game more interesting. Now, expansion slots where they don't really introduce new heroes are a lot of fun, in my opinion. I think we just win the game here, by the way. We get to throw these. The Go Again trap has already been given to us, so, like, we're already okay with keeping this here. But like, expansion slots where they introduce, new, like, or, oh, okay, sure, they just realized the game was over. Yeah, so, like, expansion sets where they don't introduce new heroes, but they add new cards to the card pool. And even then, they do introduce some new heroes. They have yet to have a set other than HP1, which was History Pack, where they have not introduced a single new hero. I hope that they have another set coming up that is 0 heroes and just legacy support, kind of like kind of like Geek's talking about, because I think that sets like that are fun. They're tougher to create, in my opinion, from LSS, because you're having to give us enough cards that don't play into a new hero concept, that also don't break the game currently, but give valid buffs, valid enough power level creep so that we want to buy the set. So I don't know. It's a tough line to walk, but I think it's cool. Like, it's a cool concept, and I would love to see a set like that. So like, let's talk about a time when they did, and we're here. I'm going to update the record, and then we'll stop, and we'll have story time here for just a second to talk about this. I guess it's not really story time. I keep saying that. It's not. I just keep stealing that because I think it's cool that Majin calls his streams that. But, so, when we talk about the game as a whole, like, I just saw somebody in the chat said that, like, Outsiders was probably the closest thing we have to that. We only got 2 new heroes, and we got a lot of legacy support for, like, so, Outsiders wasn't, Outsiders wasn't really that. Like, I would say that Dusk Till Dawn was probably the best set that you have that you can express as, we received a couple of new heroes, but we also received a lot of legacy support. So you got good Bolton cards in that set. We also got like some, I don't know, Dusk Till Dawn was a good example of that, because we got legacy support, but we also got Vincent and the new Prism. So it wasn't a draftable set, and Dusk Till Dawn kind of fit that bill. Now, let's take a look back at Everfest when they introduced a new hero. They introduced Starvo in Everfest, and Starvo made the fastest living legend run to date, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Starvo has had the fastest LL run yet, and he LL'd the weekend of Pro Tour New Jersey. Somebody won the calling on him, which was officially enough points to put him out of it, because Chain won the calling. Pablo Pintor's historic run at the first Pro Tour. But so there's a fine line there, because Starvo was broken and insane. And like, you know, like, if you've played other card games, I wasn't around when it got introduced, but if you've played other card games, it's pretty easy to look at a card like Starvo and realize that it's going to be bonkers and stupid. But I don't know, Dusk Till Dawn was probably the best set they've had, where like they've introduced great legacy support, but they've also not like broken the game wide open with other things and other cards. Like, Bolton got a lot of good support. Prism got some good cards in there. Like, Vincent got some cool cards. Chain got some cool stuff for LL if he wants to play that kind of stuff. Excuse me. I don't know. Like, there's some stuff. Like, there's a lot there. I think, and there's an interesting, like, I don't know. There was interesting. Outsiders was legit in how they used Azalea. I mean, sure. So like, Outsiders was cool. Yeah, so Dusk Till Dawn and Outsiders are very similar, sure, but I guess when I think of an expansion, like, I know that Outsiders wasn't an expansion set because it was a draftable set. That's what everybody drafted at Pro Tour Baltimore. But when I think of like a thing where, like, when I think of a set where we're not really introducing new heroes, in my head it clicks expansion slot. Like, here's an expansion slot, and like, I don't know, the pack layout in the game has also changed in a weird way, because now every set has an expansion slot in the pack where you get like random cards here and there, you know, and like, you know, Dromai LL'd and we got a new Dust in this set. Good for the Living Legend format, but kind of feels bad to open it now because it's not worth a ton of money. So I don't know, like, the game's changed in a lot of ways. I think a lot of it positive. I think LSS listens to, you know, our complaints and our concerns as players and as people, and they're very diligent to try and work on it and fix it. And, you know, like, I said this last night, and it's a hot take, because I would call it a hot take probably because not everybody agrees with me, but I feel like LSS really took Aria, Tales of Aria, and they said, okay, like, this set was OP, this set was crazy. Every single hero from Tales of Aria is Living Legend. The only other set that is close enough to doing that is Uprising, and we still have Fi left. So I don't know. There's some, I don't know, there's some like lines in the sand there, I guess. But my brain just went blank. I just lost everything I was thinking about. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we just like went on a rant there. Feels bad to open this card for an LL hero. Is a lesser bad feeling than you got to drop $500 on every set to stay viable. Now, that's fair, Ray. I do hear you there. I get that. I completely get that. Yo, Guwap is God. Thank you for the follow on Twitch, man. I don't know why the notification didn't pop up, but thank you for the notification there. I really appreciate that, brother. It means a whole bunch. Let's jump back into the games, I guess. I don't know. I'm too busy running my mouth and talking here. But yeah, anyway. Thank you for the follow on Twitch, man. Appreciate you being here. Guys, if you're new to the channel, you're here for the first time, or whether you've been here for a while but you never heard me ask these questions, let me know stuff about you in the chat. We got 3 questions we ask everybody when they're here for the first time. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Let me know a little bit about you in the chat. I'd love to get to know you guys a little bit more here. Also, yo, let's go. Diablo with that $2 super chat. Dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the $2 super chat dono, man. I really appreciate it. I don't know what's going on with my notifications right now. I don't know, like, if my, like, I don't know what's going on with my, why none of the things are working right now. But anyway, sorry about that. That's frustrating. But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I watched your hard drive get wiped. What? You watched my hard drive get wiped? What? Gotta get those donos going. James White and Brian G said the next Draconic Illusionist will need all the dust. So it feels bad now, but everyone will be glad they opened a bunch of them when they need them. I mean, that's fair. And that's a common thing with card games and like with, you know, just with any, I don't know, like with any card game, I think it feels bad to like see things and not need them at the current moment. But like as they get introduced, you feel good when you bought those, you know, like you feel good when you bought like...
some biddies, you say.
I forgot about the bit noise, dude. There's the notification. Okay, so it's just on a delay, dude. Diablo, thanks for the $2, man. I really appreciate it, brother. Yeah, your brain turned into soup right before our eyes. Oh, you're talking about me, not my computer. Yeah, my brain got swiped right there. That was something else that happened right there. Now back to lurking and working on our project. I'm very excited about our project. Prue lost and Ashley is upsetty spaghetti. Yeah, I get upset when my sports team loses too. I get it. I understand. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's tough. I do understand. Let's fire up another game here. But yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting because, and then it just pops up. Yo, let's go. Diablo with the big support. Dude, let's go. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. That $2 super chat and the support. Dude, thanks, man. You're like, dude, you're really running it up today, man. I appreciate it, brother. It means a whole bunch. I know this name from somewhere. I feel like I played against this person before. I don't know where I know this name from, but I've definitely played them before. This is a matchup where we run all of our aggro cards, but we also run chambers and purifiers. I don't really want sinks or fates to like try and play this like reaction game. I'm pretty happy to just try and block out, play offense when I can, and load up the chambers and the purifiers to try and run them over here. Deep Pocket Devil. I love that. I think that he probably liked that name a lot better than King Pigeon, I think. So... Good into Enigma and Sin. I actually agree, Ray. I actually think that like Dash is a pretty good spot in the metagame currently where we're sitting. So let's open Chamber. We'll hope that we open another way to put an item into play. We do not. We're going to pitch Harpoon. And then we're going to pitch Combustible Courier. Trying to pitch stack a little bit here. Just setting up. And we'll hope that they have a new hand. I'm going to try and count pitch stack this game. So we're 2 cards into pitch stack. If we shuffle, it's going to be a little awkward, but we're going to try and keep up with pitch stack this game. But to what you guys were talking about a minute ago, there are a lot of times when I pick up cards that are like $1. Like if a Majestic is like $1 or like 50 cents or, you know, or something random like that, I'll pick up a playset of Majestics for $1 for no reason other than the fact that I physically like to have all the cards. So when I see things like that, I'm like, yeah, I'll pick this card up. Absolutely, I'll pick this card up. Like, let's do it. And then when it goes up to $10, sometimes I sell them. Not always, but sometimes. So let's go Sprocket Rocket in here, and then we'll go zipper hit. We'll go gun. We'll go pistol. Go again. Load it again. Zipper hit. 0 to 60 harpoon pistol one more time. So we're getting the value here. They also can't alluring wave this, which feels good for us. I mean, that is true. Like, we can just block with the sparks, but that feels a little bit more counterintuitive, right, than it should be. We should probably use the sparks to put items into play, which would probably be the better play here. The full Mechanologist Evo set is under $10, full set. I mean, yeah, so, like, that's a great example. If it's under $10, like, again, I say this, if you have expendable income, I'm going to move the combat chain up here so we can see the items again. But if you have expendable income, which not everyone does, and I understand that, card games are a hobby, not a necessity. Not a necessity. Yo, let's go. Now the notifications are working. Yo, Fute Machine, thank you for that follow on Twitch, brother. Appreciate you being here and hanging out with us tonight. Just like we asked earlier, we got 3 questions we ask everybody when they're here for the first time. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'd like to get to know more about you guys. Ooh, boosting over a chamber feels mega bad. But yeah, seeing that they're like a full set is, you know, $10 is like, it's like, why not buy them if you have $10 laying around, you know? You never know when they might go up. Like, guys, here's the best example. I bought a playset of Warmonger's Diplomacies online from somebody for, they were $20 each when they were like $40 because somebody needed to get rid of them. And I bought them for $20 each, and then I traded them at value of like $50 a card. So it's just stuff like that. Like, moves like that are kind of like how you stay in the green when it comes to trading for cards and stuff randomly. So go buy one now. What gets me is when people get upset when people spec buy and sell the cards when they do go up. Like Stalagmite is a $15 L. Yeah. And like all the people who are buying it for $15 and are going to turn around and sell it for $50 or $60, like I don't know. It's weird because like if you are spec buying cards, like that's cool. But I'm also like a firm believer that people shouldn't just like buy every card that's in the game because we want others to be able to play the games and enjoy it as well. So there's a weird line there, I think. Yeah, it was to Brad, actually. We worked him out in a trade because he needed him. And like that was just a major W for me in that trade. Like, again, like not saying like that I got Brad, quote unquote, but you know, he needed cards. And oh man, Harpoon's not that good. He showed us Just an Egg, Venomous Bite, and Pathwell Traveled, and we got, son. He's going get wrecked, nerd. Man, big Sag. So yeah. Hot dog toppings are a trap. Shut up, Josh. Get out of here. You're such a troll. I swear. It's like you live to troll me. I used Lorcana to fund my current fab addiction. So I heard a lot of people say that too. You don't get any of the modes here, brother. Like, I don't know. Like, are you going to play this to give it go again and then like activate new or something, I guess? So we've already banished a chamber. We only have the purifiers left. We have all red cards over here. We could banish the yellow T-Bone if we wanted. We could also go... no, we can't do that. What's our best line here? Is it to banish the T-Bone and then go... pitch the 0 to 60 to load, and shoot, and then pitch the Shockwave to load, throttle for 4 go again, and then shoot them? Probably, because we're getting rid of a card they can't use against us later. Not that it matters a ton, because their stuff can't have go again when they play it from our banish zone. I learned that if you boost, you do not get to boost off the top of my deck. It is off the top of your own deck. Now, I learned this interaction a while ago, but it's still important to keep this in mind. But, I mean, to be fair, the interaction would be, like, dummy broken if that was the case. But, you know. We had a twin drive, big Sag. I mean, it is what it is. I need to get rid of this Victor mat. Dude, I'm telling you, Josh, I'll take it off your hands, man. Like, I'll even, like, give you money for it, man. I'll even give you money for it. My name is Pedro. I love TCGs in general, so I kind of discovered Fab going to my local shop where I live and believe not mashed potatoes are the go-to hot dog toppings. Mashed potatoes on hot dogs. That's a spicy one, Pedro. Well, dude, I appreciate you sharing that with me, man. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Flesh and Blood, man. I don't know if you've been playing for a while or not, but happy to have you here, man. I appreciate you being here and hanging out with us tonight. So we shoot the gun. They just give us everything here. Surprised they didn't like keep the looking for a scrap to throw at us at least. So this is an interesting hand because if we pitch this to play High Octane, which is probably better than nothing else, because like if we hit a blue Value Town Population us, arsenaling a card feels really bad, but we have Crown to buy us out of it. So I mean, I guess we could go pitch this to load, shoot for 2 with go again, 1 floating, play the zipper hit for 4 boosting, pitch this to load the gun and shoot for 2, and then arsenal High Octane and try to stay away from a disruption piece. We could also just play this from hand right now, have 1 floating, and then know that this is just kind of a dud. It's a resource if we need it to be. Let's try and arsenal this. I think that's a better play for us. It's just the arsenal. We want to use the pistol as many times as we can. So trying to pitch the zipper hit trying to arsenal the High Octane to set up for a more explosive turn is good. Although they are probably willing to eat some damage here if they have a very good hand with like just a Nick or a Venomous Bite or a Hiss to really try and like push through a lot of damage. They do not have any blue cards in our banish zone that they can play yet, which is a big W for us, I think. Hey, Murilo, what's up, dude? That man is Brazilian? Who's Brazilian? We're going to load this. We're going to boost 4 go again. Then we're going to shoot the gun and arsenal the High Octane here. We can all like the stream now. Robert, what's up, dude? Started Fab, always loved card games, but felt like MTG makes terrible decisions to players and community, felt a bit toxic. And avocado on hot dogs. Okay, cool. Man, we got some interesting hot dog toppings tonight. But so I feel you though, because you know, I come from Magic as well. I grinded Magic competitively for like 7 years. And like I played on like the Star City Games circuit. I played like a lot of like, you know, PPTQs and RPTQs and things like that. And you know, had some decent success playing Magic, but at the same time, Magic towards the end felt very unfun for me, and it became very toxic. Like the community became not a lot of fun. So I understand. I completely get where you're coming from. It can be a non-fun experience in a lot of ways for a lot of people. So I get that, and you know, I'm not here to just like, you know, like try and like, shit on other people's card games, but in a lot of ways, I definitely, feel like moving to Fab has been a much more net positive experience for me as a whole. Let's just block 6 here. See what they do, how they play this. If they want to take the last card out of my hand, it's fine. I kept this with the intentions of I can throw the pistol at them twice and just try to play into the next turn here. Also with the intentions that if they do decide to take this for me, then they decide to take it for me. It is what it is. So this is going to be for 10. Yep. I'm going to take 4, go to 28, and they're going to take the 0 to 60 from my hand. Now, this is ultimately a net positive play for them because they get to take 2 copies of 0 to 60 out of my deck. They can take red ones if they want or blue ones. It lets them see my deck so that they know they have the knowledge of knowing what's going on. And then it also prevents us from doing anything. So now we have a 7-point life lead, but they have all the tempo. And New has a lot of solid disruption pieces that can make our hands awkward and can, put us on a back foot in an awkward way. And I would like to be able to play my High Octane. Drawing 1 makes me feel a little bit better about where we're at right now, but the fact that we haven't seen an item is a little concerning. Yeah, this is definitely going better than Dio King, that's for sure, man. How are you, buddy? You doing okay today? Can't wait for September? Are you talking about the calling? He knows I am Brazilian because the mashed potatoes on the hot dog? Okay, cool. That's fair, man. That makes sense. coming to Battle Hardened Columbus in November. Our opponent said they're thinking here. I don't know. Probably. Columbus is about 6 hours away. I don't think there's like we travel for Thanksgiving in November. So, you know, as long as there's like some time off for me that I can find, then probably. Just kind of depends on, you know, what our schedule and life kind of looks like in November, but I'd like to. Feels so much more healthy. The community feels more approachable and less I know it all vibes. Yeah, 100%, Merlo, 100%. That's exactly how I feel about the people as well. Yeah, in this game, 100%. Played Commoner Dash today into Leviathan, went 1-1, got fatigued once, and they wisen up on how to on how much of their deck is to block 3. Yeah, I mean, that's also like I get that. Like sometimes Dash can just get fatigued. It's a very real part of the metagame. So one of their cards is just going to be to do this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to block with a high octane so that they can't take it out of my deck. This way, like if they decide to take something else out of my deck, it is what it is. We don't have any items for them to steal or anything. You need to play the Hidden Dragman Enigma deck as a fellow Guardian Refuge. You'll love it. Are you talking about the Pummel version of the deck? Is that what you mean? I'm slowly getting that experience post Magic, still struggling to translate success. I mean, that's also very fair. Like there's a lot of, you know, that in games where like a lot of Magic and Flesh and Blood does translate, but it really doesn't at the same time, if that makes sense, because it translates. But Flesh and Blood and Magic are very different games, like mechanically, I think. When is your beginner's guide to Flesh and Blood coming? I'm sure someone else has a good one, but I'd love to hear it from you. I will start writing a script for, like, welcome to Intro to Flesh and Blood, just for you, Diablo. Just because I love you so much, man. Reworked my new deck, and now I'm on the journey to 100 games. Dude, let's go. That's exciting, King. Happy to hear that, man. See you there, most definitely. That's my neck of the woods in Columbus. Oh, let's go, Rob. That's exciting. It's super fun to play the Pummel list. I believe that. I firmly believe that is a lot of fun to do. So I don't know that we're gonna get a better opportunity from where we're at to play this. I mean, T-Bone. Play T-Bone for 3. They give us the leg piece, which doesn't matter. And then we get to shoot the gun twice, Arsenal Combustible Courier, and try to set up for maybe a more explosive hand. We've only seen 1 Command & Conquer and 0 copies of Leave No Witnesses, which does make me concerned about where we are in terms of Arsenal disruption that they can have. Oh, Columbus only about an hour from you, Brad? Let's go, dude. Started Fab because I couldn't get a UVS community together at my locals. Played DBZ, which are the basis for Fab. Favorite hot dog toppings? Gotta go with chili. I'm also a chili man myself. I understand. Chili is a classic. Chili is a classic. Part of me wonders if I should just shoot the pistol an extra time, pitching Combustible Courier to activate Heart. Considering the way they're like lining up their hand to keep here really makes me wonder if that's the play. I think it is the play. This was a pretty weak turn all the way around, but with the cards, it turns into a 3/5. Turns into a 9-point 3-card hand, which I guess is like right on value for 3 points per card, which is truly not that good, but... He said chili on a hot dog, I was summoned. Hey, Sam, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Slaw dog or go home? Dude, Josh, there's only one way to eat coleslaw, and that's by throwing it in the garbage. I am willing to die on that hill. I hate coleslaw with a passion. I hate it. I hate it. You got any events you and the team are participating in now the Nats are over? So I was actually talking to Silas about this last night after the stream. There's like nothing coming up for us. There is like none of us are going to the PT just because none of us qualified. None of us are flying to Amsterdam for a calling. That seems a little excessive. Maybe if I ever like have Bill Gates kind of money, then maybe. But so there is the skirmish season comes up in August, and that's really about it. We thought about trying to like put together like a win a case tournament like locally just for everybody to come and play in and hang out. Thought it might be fun for everybody to have a good time and just kind of chill out, but I don't know where we're at on that right now, to be honest. I have to leave the stream now over that coleslaw comment. I knew I would rustle some feathers with that comment. Hey, Liam, what's up here? Same here. There's only a skirmish during the summer. Yeah, that's about it for me as well, Liam. I get it, man. I get it. It's tough. You like coleslaw and mashed potatoes on a hot dog? Dude, interesting. Man, so never heard anybody say that they liked mashed potatoes on a hot dog until today, and now I've got 2 or 3 lovers now in the chat. Love it. There's a Battle Hardened in DC. When's the Battle Hardened in DC? Is that the one in October? Is it in October at the what I guess I would consider like it's an RCQ for Magic, I think is what it is, or an RC. It's the thing that I almost qualified for the other day, just playing Magic for fun. Thought about doing a watch party for the finals in Amsterdam. So there actually was a discussion about me having a watch party for Amsterdam. Excuse me. For the event in general, and I thought it might be fun to. Oh no, we could have got the value. I knew I should have done it. I knew I should have done it. I could feel it. Could feel it in my heart. Ugh. There's the one Riddler is gonna put a big event up for one in DC. Oh, tell me about that. Is that in his Discord? I haven't heard about that. Oh, just coleslaw and mashed potatoes? Okay. But yeah, we talked about doing a watch party for the PT, which is weird because like I don't want to take away, views from Ethan and him and like doing the stream and stuff like that. But I thought it might be fun to do something like that and get to like hang out and chat with everybody during the day while it was going on. We're gonna whiff on an item here. God, you hate to see it. Hate to see it. It's only an hour west of me. I'm debating on hitting the 1K. Wait, what's the 1K next month? Now you have my attention. We're at a point in the game where like putting items into play isn't a major concern because the life totals are very low. If we're going to put items into play, it needs to be early on, not late in the game, really, especially when it comes to the pistol items. So I don't know. They're keeping their hand. Yeah, so now there's only one purifier left in the deck. I think I'm just gonna like reload everything. I think I'm just going to load the chamber and then throw the pistol at them for 2. Now, was that worth loading Heart? Maybe not, or was that worth activating Heart? Maybe not, but I'm gonna Arsenal this because it gives us potential to have a very strong and powerful hand. There is technically a max V left in the deck. Now, I did pitch it, but they've shuffled at some point, so I can't remember if that was before or afterwards. We need some reds in these hands. We had 48 for a pro quest. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Hey, Holden, what's up? Holden, what's up, dude? How are you? I'm doing the 5K in New Jersey. 1K tournament in Ohio in July. I mean, that would be cool. I don't know that I can travel that far. Can you co-stream it like they do on Twitch? I'm not sure what you mean, Sam, but if it's possible, I would be down to, to try it for sure. This could be a hiss. This could also just be a... Oh, it's a grain. The grain that tips the scale. That I have to say I didn't see that coming. It's not a card I see very often in new. Maybe they're on that now. Maybe that's a new thing they're on. Is that even allowed? I honestly don't know if it's allowed, Max. I'm not sure. Haven't touched a fab card since Nats, and it feels good. I mean, I get that. I get that. Like, sometimes it's nice to take a break from games. And like just kind of like relax and not play games for a bit. I do understand that, brother. I get that. I know a few esports orgs cracked down on it, so like there's no more like watch parties. Is that what you mean, Max? Like you can't really do anything like that anymore? Grains has been in the new list since day one. Okay, well, obviously I haven't been paying that much attention. Oh man. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna take one. I don't really want to block this here. Is your SO napping? Carly was on the couch, and she could be asleep. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know if she's in the other room or if she's asleep upstairs. Like casting it on YouTube and stuff. I mean, yeah, they like maybe they're not okay with me doing that. Maybe I should like reach out to Ethan and see if he's okay with me like having a watch party kind of thing. Since they're doing that, I don't know. I played Grain at Nats. It sucked. Yeah, so I think like that's ultimately I don't want to steal views from Ethan, you know, or you know the Flesh and Blood, you know, like channel as a whole, because there's not that many people, you know, watching. Like, you know, it's not like where it's Rocket League, you know, you have a few thousand people watching the game and stuff like that, you know, if like, or you get close to like 100 or 200,000 people watching the game, but you know, that's not always the case when it comes to cards. So buying cards when low. Did you ever look at promo cold foil price and pick them up when low? I just got Teklo pistol recently. Are you talking about the cold foil plasma pistol? Because I have one. I've never like really looked at picking them up. I know that they're like 40 or 50 bucks for a while, but I haven't seen a price recently, if that's what you mean, Kafrika. Yeah, I own one, but I haven't seen prices for one in a while, so I'm honestly not sure what they're priced at, if I'm just being honest. I mean, yeah, like it can, and they have a Siren's Call. I mean, so this isn't going to hit now, but I mean, we do have to be a little concerned about getting fatigued. This really just blocks for one, I think, but so let's pitch this. They do know the cards in our hand, so they know exactly what's coming, which is kind of okay with me. I'm pretty okay with just like, you know, trying to pistol the rest of the way. The point of running chamber on the board is that when we're boosting, I understand that there's a risk of us boosting over things, but there's also like a decent chance that we get to, you know, put some of the items into play and have like a better long game like we did against Reinar on our first game that we played. But, you know, we've boosted over a lot of the items or banished them. And so like there's a lot of, we're not getting that value, but having the one chamber in play does help you not get fatigued a lot. You could have a Discord voice party. Everyone can watch from their own browser, but can chat with everyone. That would be fun. Doing something like that would be cool. I think that, like, you know, one of the biggest things about Flesh and Blood is, like, you know, the community. So, like, being able to hang out with everyone and chat about that kind of stuff would be really fun. I am very inclined to agree with that. I think we're gonna throw the zipper hit here. I think I want to throw the zipper hit just because they haven't seen that much Arsenal disruption, and I would rather not Arsenal and play the cards from my hand here, I think. Yeah, I would imagine that a watch party would be okay. And like I think even if I was to just like, you know, stream the live version of, you know, like stream the live, you know, like just like do the live stream of what they're doing on YouTube, like I don't really think anybody would say anything or we'd get in a lot of trouble. You know, I think it would be fine, but I guess you just never know. People might people might get upset. You know, it's tough to say sometimes. Go again? I mean, I really don't want to block this, but if, like, this can't be surgical, right? I also don't want to go to 3. Can't be surgical. It can't be Command and Conquer. Could be Codex, and so blocking with a card would put me in a bad spot. Guess let's go to 3. It's just leave no witnesses. So... all right. So if I pitch Teklo Pounder to go pistol, go again, reload, pitch the 0 to 60 to play the harpoon, and then shoot the pistol, crack accelerator, shoot the pistol again. That is a 10-point turn when they are at 7, which means we strip a minimum of 2 cards. I think this is fine. We're not going to galvanize. I'm not interested in galvanizing here. Riddler got in trouble for that once. Okay, so maybe they're not cool with it. I don't know. Like, maybe they're not okay with it. You know, it's something I've never really thought about or done anything. Like, maybe it just turns into a we hang out and just chat all day. And I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, dude, I was like, Chile, I saw your name pop up. Yeah, we played the Zen Dash matchup. We played an insanely close game earlier today. Yeah, I saw your name pop up when the game started being played, and I realized it was you. But I was like, yeah, I won't say anything. I was like, I don't want to bother him in case you're like doing something, you know, or working and trying to play. Yeah, that's the last thing I want to do is like I don't want to make LSS mad. I don't want to like make Ethan mad, you know. I'm not trying to make enemies. I'm not trying to steal anybody's job. Like I'm not, you know, like it's okay. Why does the combat chain keep coming back down every turn? I don't understand that. Maybe I keep clicking it by accident. I don't know. Let's load this and then we can boost away. We do not. They show us a card, but it doesn't matter. They give us Sink Below here. Oh, that was Star City Games. He got in trouble with Star City Games. I mean, yeah, like, I honestly, like, and this sounds bad, but I could see Star City Games being, like, more hateful and rude about something like that than I could see LSS being. That is 100%. Like, I could see that being actually that way. They can go to 1 here, but they have to give me 1 more card. Like, I'm going to force them to give me 1 more card. The accelerator gets to push through our last point here. And then even if we're just able to keep a yellow, we can shoot for 2. I would think we'll be able to keep 2 cards here, but I'm not sure. What do you got with a tunic over there? Huh, big boy? Hey, what's up, Wally? How are you, brother? Josh, what are you LOLing at? Does the local group over there tend to be... oh, we're talking about things? FML, I may not see Ethan now. Why wouldn't you see Ethan? Is he not coming to, is Ethan not going to be rolling down into, not going to be rolling down to, Tampa? Is that what you mean? He said, oh, my brother, we are very, very, very competitive. There we go. There we go. That's what we like to hear. I mean, I like when people are competitive. You know, like, like, I think oftentimes, like, being competitive and being toxic, there's, like, a thin line there. And it can be tough sometimes. But I'm also someone, like, you know, I don't know if you guys know who, like, Riddler Man TCG is. But if you guys haven't checked him out, he's a great Flesh and Blood channel, by the way. But he is someone who is, like, very, like, you know, like, jovial and, like, ha ha ha, like, let's talk trash. But he's also, like, you can tell he's just a homie at the same time. Like Like Riddler's one of those guys that like I would sit and just like talk trash with, and like I know that he would mean it in a very positive light, and I really enjoy that kind of stuff. I think that's like I like people like that. Star City Games is the one hosting the calling. Oh, so he might not come. I see. And get showed how to play games. LOL. Riddler getting smoked? What? I don't think there's a buff effect here. I think I'm just going to take this. Like, you can't buff the Mistblade, I don't think, to my knowledge, so... Levels of Enlightenment for 6 draw card. Hopefully they drew a blank. If they didn't, we probably lose. With the Tunic, if they drew like a 1-cost buff, we're also dead. I just really have to hope that it is like a not that. That's unfortunate. I mean, I guess, like, what could they have drawn that was a blank? Command and Conquer? Surgical Extraction? Well, no, Surgical even lets them, like, pitch to do this, so they would have had to have drawn, like, a 2-cost red card just to nick. Yeah, so we're going to take 2 cards from their hand, and then I think we might be at that part of the game where they just have better 2-card hands than we do. Which is weird because Dash has some of the most efficient 2-card hands in the game, but without having multiple items in play, like if we had Chamber and like double Purifier here, like the game would be over on the spot. We would be so far ahead right now, but I think we might be looking at an L right now. Brad said I'm 2-1 into aggro. Thank you very much. How's T-Bone and Magnetic in the Zen matchup? Do you really feel an impact or not really? So, I mean, Kafrika, it felt very good last night, to be honest. Great game here, man. Really well played. Opponent just honestly being like super wholesome in the chat, like very nice. I haven't seen you around in a while. You said they haven't seen me around in a while and asked if I was still streaming. My opponent was just saying that this has been a really good game. Like my opponent, like actually just being super wholesome. It's again like just kind of like a nod to the Flesh and Blood community as a whole, I think. So yeah, anyway, sorry. Yeah, Kafrika, I really enjoyed the I really enjoyed the T-Bones and Shockwaves into Silas last night. Now I played against someone earlier who was running Tide Flippers. I had talked with someone last night after the stream, like they commented on the video, and we're talking about how they think it's correct to play 12 petals, the leg piece that gets the tiger, the chi piece, and they run null rune gloves into me, which is super interesting. I'm very intrigued by that idea, by that concept. It seems pretty cool. They just cash in Tunic. Oh, okay, yeah. So even if they drew a Command and Conquer, they were still just throwing... They were still just throwing the Spider Spite no matter what there. That makes sense. Hopefully this isn't a breakpoint. And it is a breakpoint, so we're dead. Yep. There's nothing I can do here, unfortunately. We already blocked out with the equipment. We did not find a hand early on in the game that enabled us to put another item into play. And I think ultimately like that kind of like cost us the game. I don't think there was a spark hand early on or an item hand. Yeah, my opponent was talking about how like not seeing an extra item like really sucks, and I told him that like no worries, like I just appreciate the really good like the longer good game that we played there. But I do think that there was a lot of looking at that game. Like if we go back and watch that, I think if there is a turn where I'm able to set up another chamber or set up another purifier, I think I'm able to like really push more damage and like take tempo late in the game. But yeah, no, that was a great game. Like that was one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Picking up losses like that, like just, my opponent played well. I feel like I played, probably some mistakes. I think that like the idea that you play perfect is very, very rarely an actual concept that ever happens. I think we cut the combustible courier, to be honest. I don't think we like combustible courier here. I like the idea, like we could cut maximum velocities just because it is a unlikely card that we get to play, and it also brings our probability of it takes our probability of actually like drawing an item early on in the game up higher. So I don't know, like maybe there's some validity to cutting maximum velocity, especially against a deck like New, where they have a lot of arsenal disruption, hand disruption, and Max V is a card that relies on an arsenal or like a 5-card hand. So I think playing 61 cards here is correct. Combustible Courier is like just for straight aggro races, and I don't think with a card like with a deck that's playing a lot of sink below style effects, I don't think that's where we want it. So I think we'll run the 61 card special here and try to like bring our percentage of physically hitting items early up more. Did you run the D-Reacts in the game? No, I did not run any D-Reacts in that game. I don't think it's correct to run D-Reacts here. You're forced to play like a way more like slower controlling style game, which I'm not a fan of. This hand is insane. This is the opening that we love to see. So we're immediately seeing that we were rewarded for cutting down some cards. We draw 2 blues, a spark, and a fantastic arsenal target. It allows us to load both of our weapons. The question we have to ask ourselves is, would we rather crash in for 3 every time, or would we rather crash in for 6? Like, would we rather crash in for 6 because of the purifier or 6 because of the chamber? And I think it's the chamber. When you played against decks like Oldham or anything that played a lot of Rampart, you were pretty much always looking to get as many purifiers as you could to break over the Rampart numbers. But with a deck like this, a deck like New, you want the chambers because it enables you to be able to just throw as many attacks as we want, and that's really where we want to be. If they do not throw a disruption piece at us, which would be a God-given miracle this early in the game, we are going to go ham. I am debating taking 5 and just giving them the high octane to play this hand out. But there's probably worse something to try and protect this hand. It's just, what is it? I don't think we can protect this hand. I think we just have to take this. Like, this hand's just too good. We get to go 0 to 60, 0 to 60, and then use my blue. I'm sorry, yeah, this hand's just too good. I don't think we can block here. I think we just have to play straight offense. Wholesome games and opponents are the best. I actually very strongly agree. And there's a lot more of that in this game. The, like, Flesh and Blood community as a whole is much more wholesome. I was like, they could take the blue, but we're also playing Dash. We're playing a hefty number of blues. Oh, and a Command and Conquer here. Okay. So they're starting out the game with a Rip Roaring start here. So they can't Alluring Wave this. We could just block 6 and go throw the pistol for 6. I think that's what we want to do. Could we have given 3 equipment there, maybe? I mean, we could have Swan. I don't know that I want to there, but we could have. It's an option. Giving up all of your equipment this early into New is a very terrifying thought, because we bring in all the pistol items because we want the game to be a longer one. We're planning to play a longer game here. So thinking of giving up all of our equipment there is terrifying. But maybe not a bad option. The problem is that they have resources floating, so we know they can do this, and they have a card in hand, which means they could just very well actively give us... I'm going to move the combat chain up again. They could also just actively have had like a hiss or a venomous bite or, you know, anything that they could have done there that would have punished us for giving all of our equipment, and we still lose our card anyway. So I don't know. It's a good question. I think it's incorrect, but I'm not sure. I mean, you were very correct. In hindsight, if we give all 3 pieces of equipment, we sink the 0 to 60. I'm not sure we'll look and see what we draw here, and then we're able to like just kind of go ham with our turn. That is very true. But hindsight's 2020, so all right. Hiss. I kind of don't hate putting the Teclopounder into play, honestly. Is it news usable issue damage races? Why are we playing fatigue? Because we can get fatigued. If we just play damage race, they can literally just block like 12 every turn and probably fatigue us, Solace. We're not running any like red, we're not running like any like backup protocols or anything like that. So we can probably just get got if we do take that route. I think I'm just going to block like this. We're just going to give up the crown. I'm not really interested in playing like games here, like mental games with my opponent. Now, that is 2 Command and Conquers out of the way pretty early, which means we're seeing like some pretty good disruption pieces gone early on in the game, which I do like to see. I think putting the Teclopounder into play is a better option for us. So we're going to look at trying to keep 2 resources to actually put it into play at the end of the turn. I'm probably just going to throw the 0 to 60 this turn instead of keeping it for another turn. If it was a react, they would have swung the Spider's Bite simply because... Simply because... I don't even know what that word is and see the future. Are you referencing that meme that has like Nicolas Cage in it that everybody like made memes about on Twitter after the Pro Tour and the Sigil of Solace? Is that what you're referencing right now? Because I never saw that. But is that what you're talking about? I don't even know what that was from. I just remember seeing all the memes pop up everywhere. Uh-oh. Clicking on something else. Guys, also on a random note, appreciate you guys being here tonight. A lot of things y'all could be doing on Tuesday night. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. Play the Teclo Core, or I'm sorry, pitch the Teclo Core. We're going to go pistol for 2 again. I must be lagging a lot or something here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Pistol for 2 is the name of the male member of the B'nai Gesserit and Dune. Bro, I have never seen either of the Dune movies. I get a lot of hate for that. I've never seen either of them. I've heard that the Dune movies are phenomenal. Never seen them, though. So, there is an argument here to Arsenal the 0 to 60, but I honestly don't want to. Now, we would have arsenaled it and drawn in the Purifier, which would have been good, but I don't think arsenaling that's correct here. Betrayal on this day. I'm not sure I can watch you anymore if you've seen Dune. So first it was Coleslaw that made everybody mad at me, and now it's that I've not seen Dune. It sounds like I've lost a lot of viewership tonight.
Don't forget to remind them about your obsession with Salisbury steak.
Why are you trying to stir the pot in there? Carly's just in there trying to start shit. Carly said, don't forget to remind everybody that you're obsessed with Salisbury steak.
Frozen.
What kind of Salisbury steak is not frozen?
The homemade kind?
Who makes homemade Salisbury steak? You can get a family pack for like $4. What? Anyway, fun fact, Dune is a novel and you can read it. So here's the thing about me and reading. I'm not good at it.
That's not true.
Yeah, Carly immediately said something. All seriousness, I'm not like bad at reading, but I read very slowly, and so I stay away from it more often than not. Also, like, I would rather watch movies. I find it hard for books to entertain me unless I really get into it. Brad said Salisbury steak is amazing. WTF, Carly? Disappointed in you not liking coleslaw? It's horrible. I'm getting very mixed messages from that message there, Rufus. Rob says I'm not missing much from not watching Dune. We're gonna block 5 and see what they do here. They could have like a venomous bite in their arsenal, which would like push a lot of cards out of our deck, but I think that we need to do this. It's the name of the main character in Dune and the planet. Yeah, so I've never seen any of the Dune movies. Carly, have you ever seen Dune?
No.
Carly's never seen it either. Normally when I haven't seen a movie, Carly's like, what do you mean you haven't seen that movie? Like, do what?
I think that come out since we've been together.
Both? Like the first one came out while we've been together?
I thought so.
Sometime in the last 5 years? Can someone confirm? Did the first Dune come out sometime in the last 5 years? Message got split in two. Coleslaw is horrible. That's all I want to say. I hear you. Coleslaw is terrible. I'm a very, very avid believer that coleslaw is garbage and belongs in the dumpster. All right. So we can go. Do we have any Teklo cores left? All right. So we have a pretty cool like line of play here. I think we can go pistol for 2, go again, and then we can 0 to 60. For 5, go again. We'll load the pistol again, and then we'll spark for 0, getting a card to arsenal, and we'll put a Teklo core in play, which gives us the value of being able to utilize like all of our items here with a good offensive hand, while also like maintaining the ability to use our items. Why does it keep doing that? I do not understand why it keeps doing that. That has to be like a recent, like, is that a new thing? Has Talishar always done that? Probably has, and I'm just going crazy. I feel like those memes sometimes, and it's like, okay, Grandpa, you've had enough. Like, let's get you to bed or something like that. Like, so they've all came out in the last 5 years. Rob said, "I love Salisbury steak is so good, dude." I love Salisbury steak. Like, Carly, like does actually give me a hard time, but like, bro, I love Salisbury steak. We have Salisbury steak at least once a week at my house, dude. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I want to make sure I don't miss the reaction window here. Oh, they're choosing to block with something, which they're not going to here because they just played Oasis Respite while up on life with the pistol in play. I do not think it's correct to just throw Respite there at the first thing that comes at them. Like, you could at least wait and do it at the end if you wanted to. I don't know, because now I'm going to come in for 5, and they've missed out on minimum 2 points there. Potentially a third, depending on their patience level here, but I don't know. I do highly recommend both movies. Absolutely some of the best cinema in the last decade. Maybe more. Oh, wow. Soundtrack is a certified banger the whole way down. All right, man. All right, let's go. Can someone please explain what a Salisbury steak is, please? I'm British. Swan, no worries. I got you, fam. Okay, so you can literally, dude, like if you get on Google right now, you can look up Salisbury steak. Salisbury steak is like a cheap meal. Like, I think that's the best way to describe it. It's like a cheap meal that, like, a family meal. So a family meal, like, at the store, like at our local grocery store, costs me, like, I don't know. Like, I think a family box is like $4 or $5. And by family, I mean a family of 4. But it is just like this, like, brown gravy steak that I grew up eating at my house when I was a kid. My mom used to make it for me and the whole family. Salisbury steak and macaroni and cheese was like a staple dinner at my house as a kid. And like, it's very cheap. It's probably not very good for you. But it's like very good to me. So that's like why it comes up. What is the dash combo? 3 boosts at a max V. So Ahmad, I mean, the thumbnail was mostly like a joke, if I'm being honest. But I do think that there is some real. Is this hand just cracked? Am I just supposed to keep this and take all of their, like, take an equipment piece here? Probably not. I'm probably supposed to block this. It's more about playing T-Bones, and Magnetic Shockwave is more like the combo here. Why are they giving this go again? Oh, because they're banking that they're going to draw at least one card? I see. Well, that's interesting. It's an interesting hand. You just called me a family before. So Brad, I ate the whole thing by myself, too. I ate the whole thing, too. I get it, Brad. What? I could eat 6 pieces of Salisbury steak in one sitting. What? Yeah, no, I could definitely eat the whole thing in 6. Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's a lot that's only $4.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I said it's probably bad for you. It's probably not healthy, but it's delicious. Aggro is cheap. Confirmed. I grew up eating brisket and mac and cheese, and some of the best food I've ever eaten still to it this day. Yeah, no, I get that, Jacob. Like, I think it's a lot of fun to... Like, I don't know, like, it's very reminiscent for me, I think, is probably a big part of it, to be honest. But I'm sorry, that sounds awful. The ancestors on the inside of my family are probably screaming right now. I mean, Kafrika, there's like a real possibility that like we could have just like kept the T-Bone and boosted this whole hand away. Considering how the hand is played out, probably wasn't a bad option here, but I think this hand's okay. So right now we have the ability to go T-Bone for 5, Zipper Hit for 4, Pulse Wave Harpoon for 4, for 13 total points. And then we get to shoot the chamber. We get to shoot the pistol twice here, pitching the T-Bone. We could activate Heart to like keep something loaded up, but we're not going to. They decided just to play my Teklo-Core, which is interesting. I'm going to give them the option to make a mistake of blocking the Plasma Pistol here, because they have the resources to do it. Not saying they will, but I am going to give them that option. Because blocking the first pistol is almost always incorrect. But my opponent did just throw an Oasis Respite at a pistol for 2. So yeah. Why not double T-Bone? Just take Tunic or Headpiece? Does the value of T-Bone outweigh the value of Harpoon here is my question. And I don't think it does. I could be wrong, but I think, like, we don't get many hands with Harpoon where we can, like, try to strip some cards. And I think we should utilize Harpoon in the value that we get from it, is my reasoning here. I'm not saying that I'm indefinitely correct, Kafrika, but that's where my head lives at right now. How much does a pack cost at the store? Yeah, so the pack of 6, the family pack, I think is like $5 or $6. $4, Carly says. She looked it up apparently. My doctor says I'm as healthy as a horse, so it's worked for me all those years. We've all heard of taco bars, etc. But I went to a birthday party once where they had Salisbury steak bar. Bro. Brad, you're like, I'm like mad jealous of like the story that you're telling me right now, dude. Like, I high key wish that was me.
Would you believe that the first ingredient in Salisbury steak is chicken?
You say the first ingredient in Salisbury steak is chicken?
Yeah, mechanically separated chicken.
I would believe that. How many times do I have to reiterate that it's not good for you? All right, so they have a Hiss and a Siren's Call in their hand. They probably kept the other card as a blue, I would imagine. Like, the fact that I can't take the Hiss or the Siren's Call is pretty cool, being off reactions. Maybe with that in mind, it is better to take the Tunic or the Mask here. I don't know. I still think the line we took was correct, but I don't know. So they throw leave no witnesses at me. I think this is no block skis all the way here. Chicken is good for you. Carly's arguments are counterproductive. Oh, man. I love that. I can't. Oh, it's amazing. To be fair, at the rate we are going, aggro breathing... breathing is not going to be good for us either. Oh, you're talking about the state of our society? I mean, yeah, if you're talking about the state of like our society, then like, yeah, I felt that. I felt that. So they just play Venomous Bite. They don't give this go again. Okay. So Techlocore pops off here. We can go Throttle for 8 go again. And to play the Purifier and pass. We could load the pistol in the chamber, play the Purifier, arsenal this. There's still a Command and Conquer and 2 leave no witnesses in the deck. I'm pretty interested in not giving them the available option to just like quote unquote get us here. Plus throwing Guarantee 8 at our opponent does get a lot of value here. Does get a lot of value here. I'm 6'3" and 165 pounds. Pro T is important to me. I mean, the fact that you're 6'3", like, dude, so you're like 4 inches taller than me, and you weigh a significant number of pounds less than me. And that's not a shot at you. I think that's a shot at like how fat I am. Swan is the GOAT. What happened? Here is about $4. Please buy a steak on me. Swan with the $4 super chat and said, have a Salisbury steak on me.
Some biddies, you say?
My man. Let's go, Swan. I love that. Oh, that's fantastic, Swan. Thank you for the $4, dude. I really appreciate it. Cusco, what's up, brother? How are you, man? A Chad move? Yeah, it is, but it's an awesome Chad move. It's not like you know, a Chad move that's lame or something like that. This is weird because we know they have another Venomous Bite in hand. Now, obviously, I wouldn't know this if they hadn't physically... Like, I wouldn't know this if they hadn't, like, physically, like, showed us the card. Which leads me to believe that they have a red in their hand. And they just want to... If they have a blue, we get got, right? I think I'm going to bank that they have a red. We're not going to blow up an item. And we're just going to attempt to go Throttle. And then we'll have 3 resources, which means we're going to activate the heart. And we're going to try and shoot we're going to try and shoot the pistol for 3 twice. How is he playing this? Oh, Techlocore gave him 2 resources? Okay, so he has +1 and go again here if he wants it. Interesting. Techlocore means they can't pitch a blue for Venom. I was not even thinking about the Techlocore resources there and like how that potentially played into the plan. I kind of forgot they had them, to be honest. But, you know. Rob said, you thick, aggro. We like thick. My man, I appreciate it, brother. Practicing some new decks and getting ready for camping next week for the 4th. Oh, nice, dude. Where are you going camping at next week, man? So we're not taking anything here. Like, we're not losing any value. And we know that they have a Fang Strike in hand. Oh no, what just happened to my mouse there? Is it better to banish the Throttle? So they get to take the Throttle from my hand. Okay, so it's now 13-15. And they have a Slither in their arsenal. We have to remember this. So I am going to load the items and then shoot them for 2 and pass. This way, like a singular blue will physically let us shoot them twice. Multiple cards can give us, like, man here. Man said I forgot like me. I'm so proud. Well, they used it in reversed and pitch a red for a blue with Declocore. I mean, to be fair, that is unexpected. Yeah. We'll go with that. I'll take that. I like that. Going to a river a couple hours away where I live that has a campsite and they do fireworks every year. Dude, that's awesome. That'll be fun. I'm kind of excited. We're having like a family reunion style thing for the 4th of July. Which I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I am excited. I don't get to see the extended part of my family very often. So it is cool. But the introvert person that likes to just sit at home, like by myself, just me and Carly, also kind of wishes we weren't going because I would rather just be at home on Thursday night hanging out with Carly. But so yeah. I don't like letting this hit when they have 4 cards in hand because when they throw this, it means that they have multiple things they want to do. Now, I don't know that we can really stop it because they have the Slither in their arsenal. Thoughts on Nats week 1? What do you mean? What do you mean, Clever? I'm not exactly sure I understand your question. Among all Ranger cards, there are only 4 cards with flavor text. Is that true? I did not know that. Usually they bring in my bulk and help the new players. We play everything, Blitz, CC, and Commoner. We also have regs that come in. Dude, that's awesome, man. The meta percentages, you mean like how many of the heroes like won events and stuff like that? There's something on my glasses. Can't see anything here. I mean, I saw that like as far as like what actually won national championships and stuff like that. I saw that Zen won some. So this is 3, go again, and then it's going to be from the arsenal. I'm interested in trying to put him on the back foot. I know that my opponent's at 11, but I'm going to try and just put them down this turn. I mean, this is 12 just from the pistol alone, and then we have 5 more, so it's 17 points. There is no singular pump that can kill me here, so this is more than likely just 3. And I think I'm okay to just take the 3. Kano took down a Nats, and I think New took down Dutch. I know that Dash.io won 2 or 1 or something like that, which is really cool. Oh, yeah, I don't think they should ban anything, if that's what you mean. Clever, I don't think they should ban anything. Let's block 3. I don't know. Like, if our opponent wants to undo and play something differently here, I'm gonna block this time around. I think I would rather block and stay up on life. The 2 points is not really worth it. Our turn goes from 17 to 15, which still requires them to give me multiple cards, which I am a fan of. So we're going to activate Purifier, and we're going to start our Pistola onslaught here of goodness. 100% ban Victor. Enigma won Brazilian Nat. So I know that I know Zen won a couple. I know Kano won one. I know Dio won 1 or 2. I think KO won a couple. So I mean, there's been a good spread, and to be honest, I don't think anything needs to be banned. I don't think anything needs to be restricted. I don't think they need to change the metagame. Like, Mist has been out, what, like a month? Maybe? And we've only seen it in play for like 2 or 3 weeks in like competitive paper settings. So I don't think there's not a call to ban anything, in my opinion. We're way too early in those stages to answer your question there, Clever. Ban Sash? I don't know. Dory won 1 somewhere. Now, I like to hear that. I like hearing these like off-the-wall decks winning events. That's a lot of fun for me. Well, something just disconnected. I don't know what it was, but my keyboard's still working and my mouse is still working. And you guys are still hearing me. At least it says you're still hearing me, so... Jacob said, don't ban my boy Victor. They're not going to ban Victor. Victor's, like, into, like, medium of a place in the metagame right now to get touched at all. And if they do, I would probably, like, that would be, like, a real step in a bad direction for LSS as a whole, in my opinion. To do something like that. Sash is balanced because of the brute variance. Balanced is probably a stretch. So they have 2 cards in an arsenal and I'm at 7. Should I crack accelerators here just because I can for 3 extra points? Probably, right? Like, we're just looking to get points anywhere we can. And the idea that points are points is also, like, true on some level. I honestly think they should unban a few things. Oh, unban a few things. All right, Wally's got my attention with a statement like that. Go on, Wally, you have the floor. Let me hear about it. What are we unbanning? That's like, I'm dead serious. I'm not, like, making fun of you. I want to hear what we should unban. Please go watch my game against aggro the other night where I lost 4 points of value on my Sash turn. Now, you losing the Bear Fangs was pretty tough the other night. I do have to agree with that. Unban Bloodsheath Skeleton. All right, somebody just wants to play Viscerai. All right, Wally's done. Wally had a shot in the sun. Wally's done. Oh, Unban Skeleton Duskblade. Meta's fast enough for it. Is that a real take, Null, or are you just trolling? Ball Lightning on a real note? Could be fair. I don't know. We could talk about that. I could see that. Though I'm calling it now, Rosetta is going to get multiple cards banned within a month of release. That I could actually probably see being fact. On today's edition of Factor Cap, I could see that being real. We're going to block here. Hope we don't get codexed. They haven't seen one, and they just pitched one for the first time, so... if it is Codex, it wouldn't be that surprising. Okay, do they have any reactions left? So they could actually give this +2, right? Which means if we don't block, we're literally just dead. This is Xaxes if we don't block. If I block with 0 to 60, I have the ability to load all the items and shoot the pistol 3 times and then leave something reloaded. So I'm better off to block 3. And then if they want to push it over by 3, I would go to 2. They are going to take the Alluring Wave value here, which, I mean, I think that's fine. They're looking to banish cards from my deck and, like, take my value away. This is going to strip 2 cards. They can technically give me Tunic and Mask here if they want. And they can keep 2 cards in their hand. Really depends on, like, what New's hand looks like as a whole. There is not a world where I want to play the Throttle here. I do not think that's correct at all. I'm more concerned about the new aggro Runeblade having access to instant speed go-agains and card draws. I mean, yeah, I do think that the new set is probably going to break a lot of the natural rules interactions of the game with instant speed, like action point style things. And I think we're probably I think we're going to see pretty quickly that will probably be a problem. Now, will it be a problem that they need to, like, errata something or ban something? I'm not sure. The metagame adjusts a lot of the time, so I'm curious to see if that's something that we fix over time, or if LSS is just like, no, we're just gonna ban this. You know, it's a tough decision to make. I don't know. Honestly, if Terra is Blitz only, you could unban Awakening. I think there's going to be an adult version of Terra. I think that's why they just named him Terra and Blitz. We were talking about this a little bit earlier in the stream, but I think that's going to be the case. What do you want Tunic for? Okay, so you have a +3 in your hand. We have to determine what it is here, right? So if they have a +3 in their hand, they're only getting the +3 because they're using Tunic. which means if I block 6, I am safe. There is no world where they can get the value of the +2 here. It is not. We're gonna double check here just to make sure I'm not doing something dumb. Siren's Call would be a very good one after I blocked with 2 cards. Siren's Call would actually be insane, but would reward me for only blocking with 1 card. It's more than likely a Venomous Bite, though, or something they want to Arsenal, so I think we're going to block like this, and we're going to hope it's not a Siren's Call. Okay, so it's just something they want to Arsenal. They were just trying to get us there. We are now at a point where if this is not a defense reaction, they are required to give us 3 cards from hand, and there is a lot of value in that. Now, they might have had the buff there. Like, they could have had the buff and just not have played it because we blocked to play around it so they could save it for something else later down the line here. But that's tough. I don't know. What did Wally say? I'm so confused. Zen could so replace Blue Wind Chakra with Blue Plunder Run. Blue Plunder Run would be awesome. Crown of Seeds is right where it belongs. I would like to see Crown of Seeds back in the... Well, let me rephrase. As a Guardian player, I would like to see Crown of Seeds back in the game. I would not like to see Crown of Seeds back in the game because I do think that it like kind of breaks the natural... Like I'm not going to say it breaks the natural rules interaction, but it's broken. Like the card, like Crown of Seeds is just insane. It's hiding information. It is like literally breaking so many elements of the game. I get to hide my pitch stack from you. I get to prevent damage. I get to filter my hand. I get to pair it with Rampart and Staunch Response. Like, it's insane. So I think that I also agree that Staunch Response, or I'm sorry, not Staunch Response. I also agree that I'm having a stroke right now. I also agree that Crown of Seeds being banned is exactly where it needs to be for the purposes of the game. As a Guardian player, I want it back just because I like it, but I think I'm going to take 1 here. I think we have to block this one. And by we have to, I mean, quite literally, we will die if we don't. Crown just does too much. I'm still a believer that Starvo would have been fine without it. I can see that. You could actually talk me into that Starvo would have been okay without it in the current metagame. You don't have to twist my arm too hard for that, actually. That's like a very... I would say that that's an extremely mature thing of you to say. Honestly, Cusco. We should be plasma purifying here. It doesn't actually add value. So you're saying you wouldn't be activating plasma purifier? I mean, they play cards like Looking for a Scrap, and like I think there's other 2 blocks in their deck, right? I mean, it probably guarantees that we're getting the value we need, right? Is that not just an accurate statement? It feels that way. I could be wrong here, but why don't we need a purifier here? Starvo just needed to be choose 1. I also think that fixes Starvo's problem as a whole. I mean, they have codexes and they have Looking for a Scraps. Like I think purifying, using the purifier here is a real valid option. I'm intrigued why you think otherwise. I again, not just saying you're wrong, but And I think this ends the game almost immediately, unless they have a Sink Below in their arsenal, which they might have been saving for a rainy day. Oh, now they are dead. Cool. So unless they have like a reaction in their arsenal, they're dead. And I stand by the fact that I think it is a venomous bite, or it is a venomous bite, or, you know, something like that. I don't think it's a D-react here. Oh, they said GG, mate. Yeah, again, like, man, we're getting a lot of like very wholesome opponents tonight on Talishar. It's very nice. It just said how. I don't know what they mean by how. Is your POV on the matchup? First time. I have only played this matchup a few times. Items help with long game. Can be tough for me if you hit good disruption timely. They're just asking about the match here in general. Like, I'll sit and chat with them for a minute if they have questions here about it. 4-1 on the night. Dash is feeling pretty good tonight. Yeah, they said that they think the same thing, that that the items help play the long game, but like they also, like, good disruption for them can be very good. And it's interesting. I think the card that cost them the most points this game was Oasis Respite. Oasis Respite like cost them a lot of points this game, in my opinion. Really put them on like a back foot early on in the game, I think. Never got to play my copy of Cold Full Duskblade, and I'm sad. Good guy opponent. I never knew what to expect when they want to enable chat. I mean, yeah, Vito, honestly, that's a real thing. Like, it's tough to wonder what your opponent's going to say. Like, is it going to be like a raging saltfest, or is your opponent going to be like, hey, good game, you know? Also, by the way, I'm sorry, I missed a big hydrate like 2 hours ago. I'm terrible. So we got a big hydrate for Liam. Liam, if you're still here, I apologize, buddy. All right, let's do it. 9:36. The way the games have played out, probably going to be the last one of the evening. Most of our games have been longer tonight, but Dash has felt good. Dash has felt very good. One of the only like real questions about the list, excuse me, that I'm not 100% sure on is adaptive plating better than playing the arm piece that lets us use Evo's Still Soul Tower or Controller or whatever the arms are called. Oh, excuse me. You know, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I'm running adaptive plating because I like adaptive plating, and I cut the blue Evo Still Soul like arm pieces or whatever to be able to run shockwaves. So I don't know what's more correct, but this should be an interesting matchup. Dashio or go home? Nah, fam. How about nah? Betrayal? What do you mean, Solace? I'm still struggling to be convinced that Dash is better than IO personally. You've had a great showing. So it's funny because I played IO a few times the other night and it was not great for me. But I played IO a few times the other night and it was not great for me. But IO is a very strong deck. I'm going to put one chamber in here and we're going to start with it in case our opponent decides to fatigue us. We're just going to run the one chamber starting in the main in case they do, just to try and fatigue us here. The old quad red hand's a little rough to start with here. IO is harder, 100% agree. The symbiosis shot combos feel like they end the game much more efficiently. That's also fair, Swan. I believe that. Aggro has a simple guardian brain. Dash is one of those Dash is like one of those decks that I feel like I actually like have a pretty good knack for. This Dash anyway, maybe not OG Dash. or I'm sorry, maybe not Dash IO because I've not played a ton of Dash IO, but I understand OG Dash very well. First hero I played when I got into the game. I'm a firm believer that she's a great hero. I was like, come on, crank and bank, son. Crank and bank. But yeah, I love playing IE. She's a very fun hero. She's a lot easier to play in a lot of senses. She's kind of like Fi in some aspects. Sequencing is probably the hardest part of what she's doing. Like just making sure that we're sequencing everything correctly throughout the course of the game. IO is tough. IO is more about having higher highs and lower lows. I mean, that's fair. I definitely enjoy the aspect of consistency. I think that's where a lot of my love for playing Guardian comes from. The idea that I can just play my consistent game plan and like be doing what I want, like pretty much the same thing every turn. Dash is also a very good representative of that game plan. So it's probably why I gravitate towards those two heroes. Having the switchboard gives it a better matchup spread, and IE is also harder to sideboard against because they can play... Yeah, because they can play 3 different game plans. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. Probably why it's like you never know if you're going to play against Control Dash or not. I really like playing Control Dash too. Like I like playing heavy Control Dash in a competitive setting. I don't like playing heavy Control Dash on stream because it's just not fun. Like there's no world you enjoy watching me play that because it's just boring. It's not that fun. I understand that. That's not like, I don't know, like it's just not that cool, you know? It's not very cash money, as the kids would say. So gotta run. Have a good night, everyone. Martin, thanks for hanging out, man. Hope you have a good night, brother. We'll take 4 and give them the opt here. I'm not a huge fan of letting them opt, but I think it's okay. They're playing their zipper hit, so they get to throw 5 at us, and then they're going to throw they're going to activate Max, I imagine, and that's how their turn's gonna end. They have yet to throw the old banksters at us. That's one of the promos I never got. It was one of the armories I didn't get to play at that often, which kind of made me sad, to be honest. We'll see what we draw into here. So let's go boost. I think having double blue, we can just go boost. We could also go boost and then try to set up and wait for a max V. So we have 3 action points right now, which means we can shoot the pistol 3 times, give it go again on the last one, play Teklo-Core, and then Arsenal Twin Drive. We also have the ability... This allows us to set up for a maximum velocity hand pretty well. But there is... I'm going to tell our opponent we're thinking here. But if I pitch this to play this, I go up to 5 action points, which means I can activate Heart, and I can throw the gun 5 times here. So throwing the pistol 3 times and Teklo-Core, which is set up for a bigger play, a better turn, I think is the more correct thing to do. I think that's the more correct thing to do. It's the more patient play to make. And Max V is an extremely strong turn. I mean, this is still an 11-point turn where we're getting to put an item into play and set up like probably one of the best Arsenal cards we can have. I would say this is the 3rd best Arsenal card we can have. The other 2 cards that I would argue being better are Max V, or I'm sorry, not Max V, High Octane and Pulse Wave Harpoon. I would say that those are just better options as a whole. If you guys disagree with this line, I think we should have just thrown the Twin Drive and the pistol 2 more times. Let me know. I'm curious. Hey, what's up, Dodge? How are you, brother? You doing all right tonight, man? Where's your TikTok clock for this matchup? So the funny part is when Bright Lights came out, I thought that this was going to be such a relevant, like mech was just going to be so relevant in the metagame. I was running 2 TikTok clocks in my sideboard, I think, when the matchup first came out. I bought foil ones. I spec'd hard and bought foil ones thinking that they were just going to be insane. Resources for boost from Teklo-Core, 0 to 60, Max V, Arsenal to High Octane. Seems pretty good to me. I mean, it's a 5, 9, 19 point turn off of 4 cards, and then we get to Arsenal a High Octane, setting up for an extremely powerful hand. I don't think we're supposed to block this. We'll just let him opt one, I think. Now I would do the same. Play the core Arsenal, the Twin Drive. Yeah, I think it's the most. It gives us the best. Like the hand that we drew is exactly what we were playing to. If we don't have the Teklo core in play, there's 0 chance we ever get to play Max V with this hand. So the Teklo core just makes this hand possible. Thinking. You mean knowing just everyone else hasn't joined the Met Club? I mean, hey, right? Dude, I like the way you think, Kafrika. I like the way you think. All right, we're going to take 5 from the crankshaft. Hopefully our opponent is... Oh, we're looking at the bank? We're looking at the bank? No bank. I assume they were going to bank us there. So we're going to go boost here. We hit throttle and T-bone. Red and yellow. 5 go again. They've done a good job of blocking efficiently with cards from their hand. And like trying to keep their life up. And I feel like I have done a worse job of that this game. And we're noticing the life discrepancy kind of like catching up to that, I think, a little bit here. Ooh, blocking with a High Octane. That is a poised decision. I tip my hat to my opponent. That is not an easy decision to make here. I haven't legit played Fab outside of Talishar games in over a month. Watching your streams is giving me the itch. Dude, playing Flesh and Blood is a blast, man. Like, and that's why you have the itch. Because Flesh and Blood is amazing, and it's an awesome game to play. All right, let's go get him. We're just going to tell him we're thinking now. So there is a Teklo core left in the deck. So barring we don't banish it, we could go T-Bone Spark of Genius for the see what we draw into. And we could essentially use another action point to put this Teklo core into play if we wanted to. They've burned up all of their equipment, but they want to, right? Like, they want to do that. So it's an interesting, like, decision point there. Let's start here and play the Spark of Genius. Backup Protocol Red is the GOAT. I agree that Backup Protocol Red is actually fantastic. I'm a very big fan of that card. They asked how many cards they've pitched. What turn is this? This is turn 5. I've only pitched 1 card each turn, I think. So I'm going to tell them 4, because I think that's accurate, but I honestly don't know. We're going to Spark for 0. See if we draw into something good here. We draw into an item. Two go again. We go up to 2 action points. I can... Man, this is tough. So if I pitch the zipper hit to shoot for 2, I can reload, shoot, give, go again, pitch the Teklo core to load the pistol, play Teklo Pounder, and then try to set up for an explosive hand. Although admittedly they have not blocked, which means they probably have the combo piece to flip here. This is tough because like this is like reliant on, is the game going to go 3 more turns? And with the chamber, we wanted to go 3 more turns, but it's a tough decision point. Because I could also just go zipper hit and then gun 4 times, which is a 11-point turn when they're at 17. Let's just play offense. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just play offense. The first part about Fab is having 1 to 2 armories a week and having to decide who to play. I mean, if that is your biggest problem with Flesh and Blood, brother, I would say you're doing pretty well. Like, honestly, I think that I am with I'm with Brad. I think that's a great problem to have. Oh, you said I know. Sorry, I'm like behind on the chat here. So they've definitely found their combo piece. So we attack for 2, put them down to 10. I can shoot them for 4 more, or I can activate Heart and put the Teklo Pounder into play. I think we need the Teklo Pounder for the value that it gives for the rest of the game. And this hand's looking pretty good. They're going to attack, they're going to do some stuff, and then they are going to flip. Or they might just flip this turn, I don't know. They might just flip an attack. Okay, well, the crankshaft is pretty good. So they had no guaranteed way to know that they were going to keep. So they don't have the suit, or they got very lucky. I kind of want to block here because we know what there's one. We just pitched a Teklo core. I mean, we could not let them opt, right? I think denying their opt here when I'm up 13 points with a solid hand is probably the just most correct thing we can be doing. That's pretty good. And they're going to take our high octane here. Yep, that's okay, though. We still get to have a good hand. Playing around the Harpoon is something I have to start remembering to do because I am not the only person in the world playing Harpoon right now. I definitely think my opponent should have cranked and banked there. That was just, like, I think that was just objectively wrong to not do that. They know that I don't want to block with what I have. This does not feel like an accelerator turn to me. Feels like we just want to push lethal, force minimum 1 card out of their hand. They give us 2, trying to stay up on life. We're going to undo. We're going to apologize to our opponent because I clicked too fast there and wasn't thinking. My fault. They take 1, fall down to 7. We shoot them for 2. They fall to 5. We pass. This hand is interesting. By interesting, I mean mediocre. Not gonna galvanize here. This seems like the most efficient use I can get out of adaptoplating here. Block with Sprocket Rocket. Take 1, and then I have load the gun, shoot, and then load and shoot again, and we get T-Bone into Zipper Hit for 2 breakpoint cards here. Yes. Yes, you absolutely should be doing this every time. I'm going to block with the T-Bone. Actually, am I able? Can I block with the Throttle here? 4, 4, Heart, 2, and 2. Heck yeah, we can block with the Heart. We can block with this here. Yeah, we have the... We could also just give up the life if we wanted to at this point, but... Nah, fam. Nah, we ain't about that life, fam. We gonna make him... We gonna make him earn it. Block with a Heart. Give us a Big Bertha. Take 1. Load the gun. Actually, is there a reason to arsenal this? Is there a reason to arsenal this? Maximum velocities, where are you?
Let's freaking go.
Yo, Lucas Fanti 10, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate you being here and hanging out with us, brother. We got 3 questions we ask everybody when they're here for the first time, man. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'd like to get to know you in the chat, man. All right, there's a max V left in the deck. I think we're better off to shoot the gun here and arsenal this, considering we have a counter on the Pounder left. we can live in a world where we get to use Crown if we need to. We draw the max V. Yikes. I think we want to block 4. We're going to Crown the Spark away, right? My opponent just said GG. I think they just realized they lost there. So they never drew mech. Did they banish one? No, they just never saw one. I'm starting to think that maybe they weren't running them there. I don't know. That was interesting. Like, the fact that they never played one, pitched one that I saw, like, I don't know. That's, like, pretty lackluster draws. Yeah, they just said that all the mechs were in the next 8 cards, like, which is a real feels bad, you know? Like, that is a real feels bad. Oh yeah, I always forget I can just click on their deck and look. That always feels like weird, like almost kind of like invasive of their like testing or deck building, maybe. I don't know. Aren't all the ops just to find mech? Yeah, they are. They were opting. They said it was all in the next bottom 8 cards. Yeah, Solace. I was like the cards not being like not seeing any of the mech suits there was like crazy. It's like crazy bad variance. 5-1 tonight though. I mean, Dash felt pretty good. Our one loss came off the back of an extremely good new game. We played 2 new games, one where we lost and one where we won. Both were extremely close, very good games. And I don't know, Dash feels very easy to pick up to me because one, I really enjoy the hero. I played a lot of Dash. I played Dash consistently like every major event for like a year. Learned a lot about Dash, and I really enjoy the way she plays. She's very powerful, very strong in the metagame right now, and I don't know, like 5-1, I feel like it's a pretty decent, accurate representation of. It's a pretty like decently accurate representation of what she looks like in the current metagame, and I don't know, like some heroes, like when we look at the metagame, are like what I would call very meretricious. Like they look appealing, but they're not actually that good. And so I don't know, like Dash feels like very appealing, and she also has like a very solid place in the meta right now, it feels like. So I don't know, that was good. I peep all the decks, no shame. I like it. I think they have to be running mechs if they have the hyperspace helm. Yeah, that makes sense more. That completely makes sense. I get that. That makes sense. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out tonight. I appreciate you guys being here and chilling with me tonight. Had a lot of fun playing Dash. There will not be a stream tomorrow. Carly and I are out of town. We're going to a concert tomorrow night. We're going to see Alanis Morissette in Charlotte. I'm very excited about it. Thursday, when I come back, I'm going to be streaming, but I don't think I'm going to be streaming cards. Carly and I downloaded this game called Chain Together. I don't know if you guys have heard about it yet, but it's like one of those like co-op player, like 2-player games. And I'm going to try and talk her into playing that with me on Thursday night. It's like our stream that we do. So I think it'll be fun to play something like that and have that on stream. And then after that, be back on Saturday playing some games. Probably going to throw a poll up. We're going to throw the poll up, see what the members and the subscribers on Twitch want to vote on, so that we can see what we're going to be playing on Saturday. But guys, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you on Thursday. Take it easy, guys.